This episode,
we review director Bradley Cooper's film, Is This Thing On? And director Nia DaCosta's film, 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple.
we take a look at the recently announced Oscar nominations, the casting of Sons of Anarchy actor Ryan Hurst as Kratos in Amazon's God of War TV series adaptation, and the new leadership over at Lucasfilm.
And we question the validity of having every possible illness and a potential school shooting treated by Noah Wiley in a single 15-hour hospital shift. If you work in the hospital, in the ER specifically, please message into the show. I need to know if this is actually what a regular day at a hospital ER is like. It doesn't seem legit. So much happens.
With new episodes airing every 2 weeks on Tuesdays, this is Split Focus, a film and TV podcast. I'm Simon Eady.
And I'm Adrian Pinter.
Welcome to episode 128. Oh, Adrian, I have a little bit of a correction I want to make.
Please, correct.
A little correction, just jumping right into this. On a podcast, we reviewed, a few podcasts, we reviewed The Last of Us TV series, The Last of Us Season 2.
Yeah.
I don't know where I just remembered that I said this, but I realized I have to correct the record here because I've been playing The Last of Us Part 2, and I remembered that I said something bad about the flashbacks and how I didn't like them in the game. It's something along those lines. I wasn't saying I didn't like them. I was kind of saying, I was like beating around trying to be nuanced with it. But the point of the matter is, I want to make sure I make it clear because I've been playing The Last of Us Part 2, the video game on PlayStation. The flashbacks are great. I enjoy them. My argument was that they would be too gratuitous if you weren't playing them. I feel like that's now my argument. Maybe it wasn't then. But I just wanted to set the record straight that the flashbacks in the game are well utilized. That's all I wanted to say. Just jumping into this.
Well,
not related to anything.
I'm glad that you're making that.
Because The Last of Us Part 2 is a masterpiece in every way, and I feel like I threw shade at it, having not played it for 5 years, at the point of when we talked about season 2 of the TV show on HBO, which is, I still think, the pretty good HBO TV show. I just don't think it could be even close. It's not even close to what the
it's crazy
prestige of the game is.
Like, I don't know, it's interesting
because I just finished the game again for the second time now, and you were talking about how they kind of dumb it down and stuff like that. And I was thinking about, like, there are certain things they could have done that would have been better. I feel like they didn't tackle it correctly. It feels like when you play the game, there's so much detail in every little crevice. It seems like how the story is told is told in such a way that is very, very well thought out in every capacity. It looks like, again, it's like the Charlie Day meme of him, with the red wire on the board type of situation. Yeah. They must have really thought it through. And I feel like it feels like Neil Druckmann, the creator of the Last of Us and a co-creator of the show, I feel like his time was split. I don't think he had a split focus, arguably. And he didn't, I'm getting right into this. Right when he started even making the show, even in the season 1, I feel like season 1 is much more straightforward, and his time is split making Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, a PlayStation game coming to PlayStation at some point. And so I feel like because he was deep into development in this game, and he was trying to build season 2, which is more complex of a story and harder to tackle effectively, as proven by the backlash of the video game when it launched because of the narrative. I feel like he had his work cut out for him. And I feel like maybe there's too many chefs in the kitchen. And I'm wondering now what season 3 will look like without Neil, because Neil Druckmann will not be working on the TV show for season 3. But anyway, those are just my quick thoughts. Having just finished The Last of Us Part 2, what a masterpiece! What a crazy good game! It's just incredible. It's one of the best told narratives in any medium in terms of the way it's told. It's amazing. I know you agree.
Yeah, I agree completely, man. I mean, you know this about me, and I'm a big stan for The Last of Us and The Last of Us Part 2. But like I think The Last of Us Part 2 is one of the great pieces of media ever, and I love it so dearly. And I mean, depending on the day, it's probably my favorite video game of all time. And mood, I feel like my top 5's always just kind of It could be any one of them on any given day.
Yeah.
Maybe if I'm in like a super jolly, happy mood, maybe I'm not going to be put, Last of Us Part 2 as like my absolute favorite game of ever, because it is so dark and grim and depressing and
Yeah.
fucked up. But it is still just so brilliantly told. And it's also really fun to play. Like, it's really fun to play.
The gameplay is amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, just like the narrative it's beautiful, man. I think there's very few.
It's beautiful in like a really depressing way.
Yeah, and it's just this beautiful tale about how someone's dealing with grief. And I just don't think I can't think of too many forms of media that have had such an emotional impact on me that game had on me that I still consistently think about. You know what I mean? I think, and I think that really matters.
That could be why it's so divisive, is because video games just don't tell stories like this. This is like an art house film in some way in the form of a video game. And I feel like people aren't used to that in games. And so when they saw this narrative, they couldn't understand why certain characters, what happened to certain characters. They couldn't understand why they would, hurt their favorite characters or do things to their characters or make their characters make certain decisions because they're not the decisions that they would have necessarily made. But like, that's not how that works. If you're watching a movie like Hamnet, or watching like, Is This Thing On? You kind of, you're not like invested in that way that you're going to like think, oh, this is not what I would do. It's like, this is a linear narrative that you kind of have to, you're taken along for the ride while also participating in a very immersive way. And so I think that, I don't know, there's not that many games like that. That's kind of I think the problem, and that's where the divisiveness came from, is like there's the lack of acceptance that you don't have control. Sorry. Kind of like life in a lot of ways, in a weird way. But yeah. The reason I brought this up is specifically because of I just remember the flashbacks thing. I thought about how on the show, it makes kind of sense. It does make sense where they put the flashbacks in some way, but there's an element of the last flashback of the game. And I'm like, it would have been interesting if they used it in the spot that it in the show in which it was placed in the game, and what that would have meant. And I just thought about that. I was like shower thoughts. I was in the shower thinking about it after I'd finished the game again for the second time, like 2 days ago. And I was thinking, could they have done it properly in the show? I don't know. But I remember throwing shade at the saying the flashbacks are kind of the worst part of the game. I think something along those lines. And I feel like they're not, because you get to play through them. Playing through it yourself makes them engaging and makes them interesting and makes them amazing. There's this little, I was trying to say at the time that it was kind of gratuitous because you're being made to live in these moments of the past that are very, very long. In a TV show, I don't know that works, to be honest. If you were to run like some of the scenes, like the scene in the museum as an example, to be vague, that scene, I'm like, that's a very long scene to have happen after a certain event. So I'm like, I don't know. It's an interesting thing for a TV show. I don't think there's any TV show that quite does that, spends that much time on one flashback. So you couldn't really do it. Like, again, that's the problem with adapting it to the HBO series. And that's kind of what Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann had mentioned, is that they had to change it to adapt to the medium, but I don't know that it was adapted perfectly. I think that they didn't take enough risks, and that's something I definitely think you believe. I don't think it's a bad show by any means, and bad second season by any means. I just think you got to take more. You could take more narrative risks. I think they I don't know. They try too hard to pull you along. Like they're really scared of what the audience how they might react. And it's like you weren't worried when you made the game at all. There was no hand holding at all. And so it's interesting. It would have been interesting to see them kind of take a bit more of a risk. It would have maybe made it a little bit more mature in that way. That's kind of my criticism, but I take what I said back about if I said anything untowards about the flashbacks. I think they are brilliant. In the video game, although they are slower and they're a change of pace. Maybe that's also part of the reason why I didn't connect as much at the time, just because I wasn't sure where the story was going, maybe, but I don't know. But I feel like I did connect with them, but it had been 5 years too, so I'm not sure. But I want to correct the record. They are great, and they're great in the game, and I recommend the game quite a bit, and I recommend the show, but I recommend the game more. If you're somebody who can play a video game, unlike Pedro Pascal, apparently, I think you should dive into The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2 if you can.
I agree. I think, again, like I'm very harsh on the second season of the show. In
Yeah,
reality, like it's good TV. Like it is still good TV. It's just
yeah,
again, I am incredibly biased against it because of how much I love the game. I think there is one episode in season 2 that I genuinely believe is phenomenal, and I just think the
episode
rest,
6. Yeah.
especially the finale, is either just okay or like, in my opinion, the finale of season 2, I did not like whatsoever. I just thought it was
Mm,
kind of choppy and a few leaps in logic that just didn't fit for whatever reason. But it's
yeah,
okay. Whatever. Time will pass. I'm gonna watch season 3. I'm not like writing off the show.
yeah.
We'll see what they do. I'm not holding out hope that season 3 is going to be much better. I mean, it could be because this is a part of the game that I enjoy, like what they're adapting. So it's just a matter of like, are they willing to make the characters, as as gray as they do in the video game, and again, like be willing to really dive deep into it. I don't know. I'm curious. We'll see.
That I'm not worried about. That part
Yeah.
you said, the morality being gray. I think they're gonna nail that part. I think that's what I think they're gonna do. They're gonna try to.
Hopefully.
I think that they'll nail that. I think it's just the way the story is told and some of the details in it. I feel like that they just taking the risks of, again, of the way it's told, not revealing things too early, things like that. I feel like there's just some things in there that I question. There's also elements that I criticized about season 2 while we reviewed it that I didn't like. I don't understand. There's certain like ways that Bella Ramsey was directed, as an example. I don't think it was her fault at all. I just think that the choices that were made, it was like, this is not quite. Are you really nailing the way the tone was for Ellie, as an example, and in the game? I'm not sure, but maybe maybe I'll be proved differently when the show kind of wraps up. But
yeah, I guess we'll see. But yeah, like I've never been a person that thinks that Bella Ramsey is a bad choice. I think she's well cast personally. I just think, again, some of the creative choices with her character were not my favorite. and I just, again, like it just didn't fit. It didn't work. But anyways, I'm glad that you replayed the part 2 and that you finally understand where I was coming from a little bit more, just a little bit more. This many more. But this many more. Okay.
I think I've always understood where you came from, though, and I think you kind of you expressed your bias right in the top of this part of the podcast. Yeah. I feel like you explained. I think like you understand that it's also kind of a good show. Like the thing is like my wife watched it and she has no connection and she loved the second season, but she loved it in like a dark way because there's some dark things that happen in it. She loves it and she's excited for season 3. It's interesting to see people who haven't played the game at all and see what their opinion is. I feel like that's interesting. Weren't your parents?
They never watched season 2. They never watched it.
Because I'm curious what they think, because they obviously have no connection to the game.
Me too.
So I'm curious. That's really interesting because there's another group of people that haven't played it. Anyway. Okay. Well, cool. That was a beginning of a podcast. Let's get into what we've been watching, Adrian.
Oh, right away. Into it, yeah. Damn, you're throwing me for a loop every time. I never know what's coming.
I know you never know. Episode
I never
129 could be completely different. Every 2 weeks on Tuesdays, Adrian. Okay. So what have we been watching this week? I'm just going to mainly talk about what we both watched together, because I think there's a lot of information there, a lot of things to get through. So if you've got more to talk about, you can go through that, and then I'll kind of end this segment with just a few things just quickly about what I watched. Okay. I'll kind of get into them later maybe, or
so a little sandwich. The meat is what we watch together. I'm the bread to start. You're the bread to finish.
Yeah. The bun on the bottom, not as good, I feel like, typically, for especially most sandwich buns or like hamburger buns, but it is what it is. I'll take the sacrifice.
Yeah. But I mean, we could just be a couple nice slices of sandwich bread. Like a nice little rye.
Do you like sandwiches made with bread though?
Most I do.
Often, except for like a BLT or something. It's very infrequent that I would like do sandwich meat on like regular bread, like slices of bread. Like even a nice Italian loaf, I feel like I don't do that very often. Maybe you do. I will
crusty
sometimes. Bread, I would be okay with it.
Yeah, like on occasion. I mean, obviously, like a grilled cheese and stuff like that. But no, I'll
Oh,
put cold
100%.
cuts
Yeah, that's
on
good.
bread. But I rarely have like sliced bread in my house, man. Like rarely. We
Me neither.
buy
Yeah,
we
I
buy
agree.
like Costco baguettes, and then like we'll go to like an Vincenzo's over in Waterloo area. It's like a grocery store, and you
Yeah.
can buy like fresh buns, and we'll like buy the cold cuts there and make subs out of that. But yeah, everyone's I don't know. I'm not against putting stuff on a slice of bread. I just rarely have it in my home. You know, I rarely have it
That's
in my
fair.
home.
Yeah, me neither. I usually I'm a big Costco croissant guy. Love the Costco
Ah,
croissants.
I do love a Costco croissants.
I put the
I do.
croissants in the toaster oven, for
Yeah,
just 30 seconds to a minute.
yeah,
Sliced obviously at first, and then
yeah.
you take them out, put some hazelnut spread on there. We're not
Oh, dude.
sponsored by any specific hazelnut spread brand. That's why I didn't say the brand.
Oh, dude.
All right.
Who cares?
but yeah, it's good, really good. It's like because they're butter croissants, it kind of
Mm,
takes the butter and like crisps it just
yeah,
ever so slightly. It's delicious.
yeah.
It's delicious.
What's your opinion
Dessert.
on making sandwiches with croissants?
Oh, amazing! I did that
Oh,
for
really?
many months, like
Yeah.
last year. We were
Nice,
doing sandwiches. We did turkey, Cajun turkey meat, and we just like made croissants with like
nice.
pickles, cheese, like provolone cheese, and some.
Yeah.
It was really good. Very very
That yeah,
tasty.
it doesn't sound bad. I'm not much of a croissant sandwich guy. I don't know. There's something
Oh,
about it. I just like whenever I have a sandwich, like croissant sandwich, right? And there's like the meat and stuff. I'll be eating, and I'm like, honestly, I kind of wish I was just eating this croissant on its own.
oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
All right,
I don't know. I just love like
that's
a
interesting.
nice
Maybe you
croissant.
just haven't had enough of them.
Maybe, maybe
If you
it's
get like
possible,
a
dude.
big thing of Costco croissants, you don't feel like you're wasting the croissants. You know what I mean? Because croissants are
Yeah.
really good on their own. Maybe that's what your feeling is from.
Maybe I got to
But
try
I feel
that.
like
Maybe I
the
got to give
croissant,
it a
it
go.
takes the mayonnaise and it really seeps into it. And
Hmm.
that's what's delicious, especially if it's sitting for a little bit of time
Yeah.
before you eat it. Anyway,
Good shit,
this is
dude.
not what we've been watching. We haven't been
Good
watching
shit,
croissants
though. That's good
seep in
stuff.
mayo.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of Food Network. No, I'm just kidding. I haven't been watching Food Network. I have been watching a lot of food YouTube though, as per usual. But anyways, not important. Simon, what I've been watching are two things that I actually brought up last episode, but I've watched more of it now.
Okie dokie.
And I finished season 1 of the hit Apple TV Plus series. Sorry, Apple TV series. The Plus isn't there anymore, Simon. They got rid of the
No,
Plus. I
that's a
Slow
negative.
Horses. I finished the first season of Slow Horses, and I watched the first episode of season 2 of Slow Horses.
Oh,
And let me
wow.
tell you, this show's a romp. I like it a lot. I'm enjoying this.
It's
I
pretty
feel like
great.
this is a really cool, just like it's a good vibe. It's easy. It's you've talked about this in the past, how it's like popcorn TV, but it's still like high quality popcorn TV where you're
Very
engaged.
intelligently written popcorn TV.
Mhm. And incredibly well acted. And I can't remember if you told this to me directly or if we talked about it on the podcast, but I talked about how the main character of the show is this guy named River Cartwright, who like messes up this big job and like the simulation in this first episode and gets thrown into a place called the Slough House, where all these like MI5 agents that screwed up at some point or another on their job or rubbed people the wrong way were put in this place called Slough House, and it's run by this guy named Jackson Lamb, who's played by Gary Oldman. And I was saying, like, yeah, River Cartwright's the main character. And then you mentioned how, like, the show, like, as it progresses, it becomes more of an ensemble cast. And very much so. Like, by episode, I would say 3 of the first season, you start getting more of a feel of all the, additional characters that are around. And by the end of the first season, it's like, it's a whole group effort of them trying to, solve this crazy thing that's happening. And I find this show just like it's really fun to watch, and it's just I think they figured out how all the characters' personalities were and how they would react to one another in these situations, and the actors just really go all in and like I believe each of these actors are those people. Every once in a while you'll watch something and you'll be like, okay, that person's acting or it doesn't, hit the spot. But it's like this show just perfectly encapsulates each of these characters and who they are and how they'll, interact with one another. And there's a lot of, just kind of animosity towards one another, but also this like very team mentality because they're all in the same boat together in this shit storm. And again, as the first season progresses, I don't really want to spoil it because I kind of went into this show blind and what the actual story beats are. It gets fucking crazy pretty quickly and very like dark and brutal. Yet somehow, even though it's dealing with all these very bad things, these dark themes, there's still this like little ray of sunshine throughout it where you're like, I'm having a good time and I'm enjoying this. This isn't stressing me out. I'm not anxious, even though they're like on a time clock or whatever. And goddamn, it's fun. And hopping right into season 2, after finishing season 1, there's like a noticeable time jump, probably like, I don't know, 6 months or something, maybe a little bit more. And now that you know these characters and that much time has passed, you're kind of thrown into where they are at this point in their lives. And it's just an immediate kind of understanding, I guess, for lack of a better term, of like of how the characters are dealing with the situations they are now in. And again, it's almost like a lighter tone because now I know these characters. Now they're closer with one another. Now they're willing to make more jokes and be a little bit more friendly to one another. And it just works. It just really works. And I was just really in the mood for something like this, where it wasn't, necessarily too dark or too gritty. And there was this like nice amount of fun in it. And yeah, man, fucking slaps. The show slaps. Apple TV just kills it, man. Everything I've watched on Apple TV, I've pretty much liked, except for Platonic, the season 1 of Platonic, which I don't know, man.
That's fair. But yeah, it's cool. The way you described it here, I didn't really think about it until you kind of said it this way. It's kind of, in a way, it's kind of a buddy comedy in the weird, like a buddy cop comedy, and because they are like agents, so it kind of works because they keep pairing these really wacky personalities together, and they all kind of mesh together and or like repel each other in various ways. There's like the team bonding is really good, as you mentioned. Yeah, it's a cool way to look at it. I never really thought of it because it is a comedy. I feel like it's a dramedy in a larger way. And it's cool. But yeah, we talked about it in the theater as well as talking about it on episode 127 of Split Focus, and I realized I kind of spoiled something for you a little bit. So
you did.
I
It's okay.
I completely am sorry about that because I don't
fine.
like doing that. I just didn't know. I couldn't remember how far you had gotten. I knew what episode you were on, but I didn't realize where the thing I spoiled was in the episodes. And I felt so bad when I got in my car. I'm like, I'm such a dick. I didn't mean to do that.
It's
I love this
okay,
show.
man. It's okay.
But
don't worry about it. It wasn't necessarily a big spoiler because where that specific character ends up, it's still like a surprise by the end of season 1. You're like, oh, like this is happening. Interesting. So there is like a little
dance we do when we describe things in general on this podcast, like the way we describe it, like I wasn't spoiling it because you had already mentioned something that the event that had happened. And then I kind of like, I went further than I should have in the way I spoke about that character. I was stupid. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Hey, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It was still a surprise. It was still fun to experience. So
yeah, it's cool. It's good. Yeah. It's crazy. You're a lucky guy. I always think when someone's watching a show for the first time, I'm like, oh man, to go back and watch this again. Something like Avengers Endgame in theaters. You know what I mean? You're like, oh wow, it's such a fun thing to experience. Yeah. I don't know. There's something very chill. I distinctly remember. I've eaten a lot of toaster oven croissants with Nutella in those while watching Slow Horses, just coincidentally, because I would just like put on an episode before bed, kind of thing, and it's like a little 10 p.m. snack before sleepy time. Anyway,
10 p.m. snack of a croissant and Nutella, some of the heaviest stuff. How are you so lean? You're such a lean, mean machine.
I guess I work out. I don't know. Thanks.
Yeah.
Or not thanks.
Look at you, man. Work it out.
Lean. I don't know.
No, you're not too lean.
But okay. Well, yeah, all right. Anything else you watched? You're excited to
so I
discuss
continued
here?
watching more of The Pitt, HBO's The Pitt. I'm like 10 episodes in now of the first season.
Nice.
And how do I want to word this? I've been kind of talking about this with my fiance because she didn't want to watch it anymore. Because she doesn't like the hospital setting. And this show is arguably like, it's very sad, but to a point where it's almost comical when you're really just like watching it and paying attention to it. And what I mean by
Oh,
that is, so because I'm watching this show again. I'm 10 episodes in. I'm like, how is this show so freaking popular? I genuinely don't get it. It's a medical drama. Medical dramas, I guess, just in general are popular, right?
yes.
But there is just so the setup of the show, the pit, is you're following this, like, essentially this emergency room over the course, I think, of 13 hours is the first season, and every episode is hour by hour, right?
Yes.
And it's a cool setup. It reminds me of the old 24 show with Kiefer Sutherland, just again in a totally different setting and premise. And you're sitting there, and all these people are coming in. There's a big cast of characters because, again, like every hour, maybe there's someone new there, or over the course of like 4 hours, there's the same character there dealing with like an operation or whatever else. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, the writing in the show is presumably pretty good to a certain degree.
Presumably.
Because I don't understand 56% of it because they're all talking in medical terms. So right. I imagine it's accurate. I imagine, because everyone says online like it's very accurate, like medically. But then there are these like character moments where these the nurses or the doctors or the interns are all talking with one another or having conversations with one another, and it's like there's one character in particular, and it's like we're 10 hours into this shift, and I know everything about this character, like their entire life story. This one character's life story, their past, how they got into the position they're in, why they have an ankle monitor on their leg, like a house arrest monitor on their leg, that they used to be a drug addict, yada, yada, yada. I'm sitting there, and like when you're watching a season of television, it's like, okay, cool. I'm learning about this character over days or years. And like this character has overshared their entire life story over the course of 8 hours or 9 hours in real time when they have worked at this hospital for years. And you're like, and as soon as like my brain kind of clicked in on that, it became comedic because she's talking about this like traumatic event that happened to her. I'm like, why the fuck are you talking about this right now? Why have you told everyone everything about you in one day?
Is this a new person to the hospital?
No, she's worked there at the hospital for many years. Huh. So there's like these little moments where I'm like, it's kind of confusing. Yeah, and again, small, like I guess the premise is like, okay, maybe someone new in the hospital is learning about her from that perspective, or she's talking to a patient or whatever else. So there's like this, I don't know, there's just this level of oversharing. And I think in the 8th or 9th episode, she's like talking to someone, and she's like, listen, I know I'm an oversharer. And she says that like verbatim. I'm like, you fucking think? You think I know everything about you as the viewer? And it's like,
but you didn't overshare before the audience was watching.
Yeah, I guess.
Which is the problem, I guess.
Yeah,
that's what I mean is the plot hole part. Like, yeah, it's very small. Like it's not really a hole. It's like a kind of a crack in the plot, I guess.
Exactly. So it was just a little odd because of that. Because then I started paying attention to it. And what I mean about like paying attention to the show is so much fucking happens in the show over the course of, I guess, what am I on? Hour 10. So much. It's crazy. And this show is almost made for the ADHD, like TikTok brain in a weird way, because there's always something fucking nuts happening at any given time, like 6 different things. And they're constantly popping to other like operation rooms and like different medical emergencies. And you're like, okay, wow, that's crazy. Wow, that's crazy. And when I say they deal with almost every social issue imaginable, they deal with that like fucking almost every social issue imaginable. Not actually, but they deal with so many social issues. It's genuinely bananas. Oh, sorry. One second, Simon.
Okay. Adrian is gone now. He's decided to take presumably a work call after hours, no less. What a dedicated employee. You know what I'm saying? Because we of course would record this podcast after hours, like after 5 p.m. So it's impressive, but yeah, he's doing it. He's taking that work call, and I'm waiting patiently. So I guess I'll bid you adieu for the next, what is it, 2 seconds for the ticking clock? Adieu.
Okay, sorry about that, Simon. I just had a one of my clients call me. They were looking for assistance, so just wanted to help them out real quick.
Of course, I was just talking to the audience about how you were doing this after hours, and you're such a dedicated employee.
Hey, man, when I'm helping a customer, I sign them up on my service. I'm there after hours, anytime they can call me.
Yeah, really reliable. I appreciate that.
Good old reliable. So I think I was talking about how in the pit, there essentially it deals with like every issue imaginable, and it's if you're watching like a series like a Grey's Anatomy as an example, which deals with honestly less issues than the pit does, but the Grey's Anatomy takes over the
time.
Yeah, it takes place over the course of like months, as opposed to like 10 hours. So in the pit, you're dealing, I guess, very minor spoilers for the pit, because I'm going to just mention random occurrences that happen. And I'm going to touch on like, I don't know, a few, but there is way more than what I'm going to list off. There's, obviously people dying, right? A kid dying from a drug overdose, a kid dying from drowning. There's a parent dying from like a stroke. There's a drug overdose where the person survives. There's homeless people that show up. Or unhoused people, as they call it in the show. There's a trans person that shows up that's misgendered and they adjust it. There's a racist guy that's yelling at the people that assaults. There's a person that works at the hospital that gets assaulted. There's rats in the hospital. There's that just show up in the hospital because they were on a homeless guy's body. There's
what?
Dude, okay, I just listed off 9 things. That's not even a fraction of all of the issues that this hospital deals with. And I'm just talking like those are like, I guess some of those are more social issues. And then some are like, actual issues that people deal with. And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, so much fucking shit happens in the show. So much. I'm like, why is this popular? So I was like sitting there, I'm like, because I'm watching it. I'm having a good time. I'm kind of viewing this as a comedy in a weird way now, because it's like so obviously trying to hit so many nails and hit you in your feels at so many times. And I'm like, I think this show's popular because one way or another, since they're, dealing with so many issues, there is at least one thing that when you watch the show, you relate to. You have maybe... And that's my assumption. It's like, yeah, maybe you lost like a loved one and you were there for them when they passed away in the hospital. Maybe you know someone that died from a drug overdose. Maybe you have a trans friend that has been misgendered. Maybe you know someone that's become homeless, or you have dealt with the homeless people. And it's just chances are you've maybe even dealt with multiple of the issues that have arisen in this show, or you yourself have been in a hospital situation. And it's just, I think the reason the show is so popular is because it is so relatable. And the reason I also question if the writing is good, because again, there are these emotional moments where I'm sure people cry to, but I'm sitting here now looking at it from like this analytical perspective. I'm like, is this actually like well-written emotional beats, or is this just a very sad situation that is going to arguably be emotional regardless? It's when a kid dies, it's fucking sad. Obviously, that's an awful thing. So it's like, Is it actually sad because the writing's good, or is it sad because a kid just fucking died on screen and you see parents crying over their child's dead body? You know what I mean? And it's like, now I'm
pick the most extreme scenario and they're like, cry. Are you ready to cry?
Exactly. And so like, I'm sitting here fucking feeling like a piece of shit because like, the scenes are happening where it's like super depressing. And I'm sitting here almost laughing because I'm like, oh my God, so much has happened over the course of these like 8-9 hours. And it's like, come on, dude. Like how much shit can just these people deal with? It's just one shift. And again, I've never worked in the healthcare industry. If this is actually what working in an emergency room is like, I do not envy anyone that works in that situation ever. I feel like that's arguably, you're insane for going into that industry. You're doing the Lord's work. Good on you. But God damn it, is this show just fucking absurd in so many ways. There are quite a few moments of levity as well. And then again, there's this like internal drama with, some of the people that work there. But again, it's just everything is so escalated and quick. Like, there's like an intern that's there that's like questioning one of the people that have been there for a while that they're possibly stealing drugs or something from the hospital. And it's like, dude, you've been here for 4 hours. Why are you even concerned about this? Aren't you here to learn? Like, it's absurd, man. It's absurd. And I'm missing something. I'm missing something because this show has won an Emmy for being for best drama series. That's what it won for.
Best Golden, it won the Golden Globe.
It won the Golden Globe as well. And it's just like, I gotta be
over Severance.
Something. Yeah, which is absurd, dude. Over Andor. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, over Andor. Why not? Why are you kidding?
I was kidding because all I do is bring up Andor, but no, I'm not kidding because Andor is the best TV show of 2025. Anyways, but yeah, it's just wild, man. And I'm like sitting here. Maybe I'm not missing something. Maybe my analysis of the show is correct, and I'm just looking at it from too analytical of an angle to just like get into my feels and enjoy it from that perspective. But God, man, I don't want to fucking cry to kids dying. Like, so maybe it's like this like defensive mechanism my brain's putting on where I'm like, oh, this is just fucking crazy that so much shit has happened. And again, man, I listed off like fucking 12 things there. That's not even a third of what they have dealt with over the course of 9 hours. Not even a third. I'm not even joking, wow. Dude. It's crazy. Incredible. Yeah. Anyways, I know I kind of ranted there. I feel like I went off the rails a little bit because I've been very passionate about this in like a weird way, and I don't really have too many people to talk about it with. But yeah, I've been talking.
How many episodes do you have left?
I think there's 13 episodes in season 1. I think 13 in total.
13 hours is a long shift. Damn.
It's a long ass shift, dude. It's a long ass shift. And again, yeah, it's fucking nuts, dude. Here, let me just triple check. I'm gonna give you the correct thing because I am on episode 10. I think I'm like partway through episode 10. I was watching it while eating lunch.
Oh wow, you're
today.
Almost done, yeah. It's almost it.
Oh shit, I lied to you. There's 15 hours. There's 15 episodes in that first season.
Wow, that's a lot of hours. So it's Noah Wiley's character's whole shift. Is that the idea?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. But there hasn't been like a shift. Like this show starts off with a shift change, and none of the cast has left their shift yet. So I'm like, is everyone just working 15 fucking hours today?
Is that normal to have in the healthcare industry to work 15-hour shifts in a hospital?
I would assume so. Maybe on a day like today where everything is happening, everything ever happened.
Yeah, you're right.
So maybe, but like again, like they're like we're almost in episode 10, I think it was, or maybe it was near the end of episode 9. They talked about like, all right, we're almost nearing the end of the shift. Apparently not. You guys got like fucking 6 more hours to go.
Interesting.
Anyways.
Maybe they were nearing the end of it and then they got stuck there. Like no, you would know that by now, by the 10th hour.
I don't know. Maybe they have a 12-hour shift, and then on hour 12, something crazy is going to happen.
And you can't leave.
Yeah, they can't leave.
Yeah,
but again, it does do some cool things though, in the sense of like it'll set something up. Like, but again, it's the absurdity to it. Like it'll set up this like it'll plant a seed in like one episode where it's like, oh, like an ambulance was stolen, which is an actual thing that happens. I'm like, what the fuck? Ambulance. Yeah. Anyways, that's number 13. Ambulance gets stolen. I'm like, oh man, who stole the ambulance? And then over the course of like 1 or 2 episodes, there's like a pursuit of the ambulance. And then eventually the people in the ambulance like get into a car accident and then they're brought to the hospital. And you're like, oh, okay. So it's like, it sets up these little things where it's like, okay, we're going to go back to this. We're going to go back to this. And they set up like this is in the first episode, I'm pretty sure. Again, this is number 14. Again, I'm not even hitting the third mark yet, okay? But there's a kid that, like his mom brings him in. This is either in episode 1 or 2. His mom brings him into the hospital and she like pretends that she's sick. And then she's like, I'm actually not sick. I found a note in my son's bag and it has like a like a hit list of these girls that are in his class, and I'm worried that he might do something. And they're like, we got to talk to this kid and make sure he's okay. And then the kid runs off, and over the course of like, you know, the last 8 episodes, they're like, what's going on with the kid? And the one doctor who's an overshare is like, we got to call this in. And then Noah Wiley's character is like, no, like we're not going to call the cops and ruin this kid's life over a thought crime, yada yada yada. And it's like brought back multiple times, and I think we're finally, you know, hitting that point of like the explosion of what might come from that scenario. But again, it's like, dude,
wait, is the kid still in the hospital?
No, he left. He ran out of the hospital.
Oh, okay, so they're just thinking about it for multiple hours.
Right? Yeah, they keep on talking about it. They keep on bringing it up because the mom's still there for a thing that she's not even sick about. Anyways,
so wouldn't she go look for her kid? I don't get it.
I don't know. She keeps on calling. They're like, did you reach your son? And she's like, no. And then they go up back to her like 2 hours later, which is 2 episodes later. And you're like, did you reach your son? It's like, no, he's not answering my calls. Anyways.
Hours going by. You would think you would run out really scared for your son. Yeah. If you're not sick. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen it, so can't say.
I don't know. Your wife has watched it. I know that much, right?
I'll talk to her about it and see what
did she like it?
She thought it was as wacky. She did like it enough. She did say, though, I think she said, like, there's no way it should have beaten Severance season 2.
God, no.
There was that. Even Pluribus. I thought Pluribus was pretty great. I don't know, but I don't know. I haven't seen it, so how would I know? How would I know? I don't know.
I don't know, man.
What else have you been watching, eh?
That's really
you have
it,
more
dude.
to say about The Pit. Okay.
No. Again, I kind of said all my thoughts on The Pit. But it's funny, you know, I'm talking smack about it, but I'm still watching it. I'm still gonna keep watching it.
Okay.
So
that's cool.
Anyways, but that's really all I watched.
All right. Well, let's move on now to the things we both saw in theaters together. We watched 2 movies in theaters. We saw Is This Thing On? And we saw 28 years later, Bone Temple. A Bone Temple? The Bone Temple. I'm pretty sure there's a "the" in it.
I'll give you the Bone Temple.
Clever. Okay. Well, what do you want to talk about first? Is This Thing On?
Yeah, let's talk about Is This Thing On, because we watched that first.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. We watched that first.
All right.
Bradley Cooper single feature
first, I suppose.
Yeah.
Is This Thing On? I love this movie. I thought it was amazing. I think this is my favorite movie of 2025, personally. We didn't see it in 2025, but we saw it obviously in 2026 because that's when it came to theaters here. But I really, really think it's great. And I think that the best thing about it isn't, it's strange. It's more of a drama than it is a comedy, which is kind of the vibe I kind of got from it before I went in personally, anyway. Just based on the buzz around it before we got to see it in theaters. But I just feel like it's, to be honest, the most realistic telling of a love story. In that, what I believe love to be is it's an action. It's kind of it's a sacrifice more so than something you fall into. And I feel like it shows kind of how these 2 characters are kind of falling, out of love, I suppose, or like they're drawing apart in Will Arnett and Laura Dern's character. But essentially the movie is about Will Arnett's character. He starts doing stand-up comedy after his wife asks for a divorce. He doesn't have the money to get into a bar, and it turns out to be a comedy club. He's just trying to go there to get a drink, and he signs up for open mic to just basically get into the bar without paying a cover because he didn't have enough money on his person at the time. So he enters the bar, and his name gets called up. He goes and does the stand-up comedy, and he falls in love with it, essentially. But it's mainly a story about the relationship between him and his wife, arguably. And it just, I feel like the telling of that aspect of the movie is like, I don't know, it's very heartfelt. It's very realistically told. The way it's shot is very chaotic. It feels very grounded in every capacity, the way the characters interact with each other. There's characters in it that are literally married in real life. There's a scene in which like they all wake up in the morning and they're like kind of singing, and I was thinking like this is incredibly grounded. There's something very human about this film in in every capacity, and it's very impressive from that angle. But Bradley Cooper, the director and writer alongside Will Arnett and his writing partner, I think that they all did a great job writing it. It feels very real, and I think Will Arnett and Laura Dern were snubbed at the Oscars. We'll talk about that in a second when we get into the stories of the week. But I feel like they were just snubbed for most award shows. I don't know what happened there with the acting awards. I feel like there's a grand mistake in my opinion in that regard. But yeah, it's funny at times, but I feel like it's more of a drama, and I just feel like they nailed the tone and they nailed the overall film, and the acting is amazing, and I love it. Anyway, I'm a big fan. Thoughts? Those
Yeah,
are
I
more than just high level thoughts. I gave you all my thoughts almost,
yeah
but anyway.
yeah I'm definitely not as high on it as you.
Okay.
I did really like the movie. I thought it was quite great, and as you mentioned, it is very grounded. I love Will Arnett as an actor. I think he plays the sad guy so incredibly well while still having such amazing comedic chops. Again, like one of my favorite shows of all time, BoJack Horseman. You know, he's the voice of BoJack in that, who's like a very depressed person, and it's just he has this voice that just like reverberates sadness. You know, like you can hear the sadness in his voice even when he's talking, like trying to be all positive. And it just, I think he is just a phenomenal actor. And I do agree with you, like him and Laura Dern's relationship and chemistry in the movie is awesome. Um, and yeah, like it is ultimately a love story in a way, but you know, angled from the perspective of a divorce happening. You
Yeah.
know, like a family falling apart. And
Yeah.
I mean, I made this joke when we finished the movie because we both watched, like our wives were with us. And I'm like, probably not the best movie to watch right after getting married, but hey, you know,
I feel like it's funny because I disagree with you. I think it is the best movie to watch right after getting married.
Mm.
In contrast.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I appreciate your perspective in a way.
Yeah.
I guess there is like this level of maturity to it.
Yeah.
And you know, kind of understanding what might be to come, which is that's kind of what I'm referring to. It's like I don't want to think about ever falling in love with my wife. I don't think I ever will. But again, I feel like everyone says that, and it's just this movie isn't necessarily about falling out of love. It's just about becoming maybe like too comfortable or bored or disappointed or sad, and it's just how that impacts your relationship. And again, it is just it is very grounded and believable. And there is like the way it's shot is super, I don't know, it makes you feel very immersed in the movie. There's this level of realism in the character conversations where it's like, you know, you see people talking like that when you're at a bar and everything. Funnily enough, like my wife, she liked the movie, but she literally said like that she started feeling kind of almost motion sick watching it
Oh.
because there's never a single moment in the movie where the camera is steady. It's always constantly shaking slightly and everything like that. And she's like, she said that once she was made aware of that, she couldn't like unsee it. And like by the end, she was like, I can't, like, it was tough to like watch because the camera's constantly moving. She is very prone to motion sickness though, to be fair. But yeah, I don't know. I like that sort of camera work. There is this like raw nature to it, which again makes you feel more a part of the action, so to say. Because I watched the first trailer that came out. I can't remember if I watched any more of them. And going into it, I don't know why I expected it to be more about, you know, Will Arnett's character, you know, finding his love of comedy and really, you know, his journey through becoming a comedian, I guess. And it's kind of about that, but that's not really the point of the movie at all. And they don't spend as much time on that than I would assume. It is really a movie about relationships and family. And again, I think it is done very well. There was just something, I don't know. I don't want to say missing because that's not fair because I can't tell you what was missing. It's just I was expecting to like it more than I did. I still really liked it. I still really did. But it wasn't like a movie where I'm like, oh, I got to watch this again. Or, oh, I'm like thinking about this since compared to like another movie that we actually watched shortly thereafter. Or that I watched fucking last year that has like been ingrained in my brain. But But yeah, like I don't know. Again, I've only seen like Bradley Cooper. He's I think a great director. Again, I've only seen this movie and the Star is Born, like a Star is Born remake. And for me, I think
Yeah.
a Star is Born is the better film of the two that I've watched. Um, so yeah, again, I did really like it. I don't want to sound negative. I feel like I'm trying to be a little bit more like balanced, but I feel like I might be coming off a little bit more negative than I want to
No, it's all
in
good.
this.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's sweet. Yeah. It's cool. I don't know. For me, this was like it's just for me, this is a realistic love story. Whereas again, we see in rom-coms like Notting Hill or something, you just see a lot
Yeah.
of unrealistic. There's just a lot of, it's fun and they're feel good, but this is not as feel good. It's kind of that shows the messiness of relationships, especially long-term ones, and how much work you really got to put into them to make them work. And it's just, there's something about it is like, I just felt like these characters are real and there is baggage there. And there's lots of clearly like long-term emotions that have pent up. There's a lot of vulnerability in the actors and a lot of vulnerability, even just the writing. It just feels, it's just, again, I'm so impressed with that aspect of it. I don't know if I've ever seen anything quite as much of a dissection in terms of a raw dissection of a relationship in this way. And you're right. It's not very stand-up comedy based. There's an element of like, it's that moment in the trailer, the first trailer, and where Will Arnett is standing in the subway station and he's like I'm gonna be okay. And it's like that was the thing that got me invested in the film in the first place. That's what really, I love the idea of the stand-up comedy and how hard it is to get into and all that aspect. Like I love the movie the TV show. I really liked it with Pete Holmes, Crashing, where he's crashing on people's couches as he's just trying to become a stand-up comic, but it's just so hard. So like that is really cool too. But I think the relationship angle of it and Will Arnett's performance, again, in that moment where his voice cracks and say, I'll be okay. I just like, that's the representation of this film for me. It's like, he's not going to be okay. And you can tell right from the trailer and right from that moment in the film. And you're like, okay, this is going to be, I'm in for a little bit of a kind of a heart-wrenching experience in some way. And you're rooting for these characters to potentially have a happy ending, but this is not, life doesn't work that way typically. There's no like happily ever after necessarily exactly as it's told. It's more nuanced than that. And I think that's what I appreciate most about it. But yeah.
I get where you're coming from there. And yeah, I don't think you're wrong. Cause yeah, again, it tries to deal with this like more nuanced nature. I just think it didn't hit as many emotional beats that I was assuming it would. I think about,
it got me.
Yeah,
it did for me. I don't know. Something about maybe the way I was when I went in there, my emotional state maybe too. But.
Yeah. I think that has a lot to do with like how people react to movies. I mean, I think about going into La La Land, and I think I was in the perfect headspace to watch that movie to be emotionally broken by the end of it. And nice. I think about that movie so fondly, and I love it. But like, it's okay. Compared to a very similar movie, like in regards to theme, like the theme of divorce and like a relationship falling apart, I think of Marriage Story with Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson, where like watching that movie again, like destroyed me at multiple points. And like that also felt incredibly realistic and very human. And I just think it nailed those emotional beats, at least from memory. It's been many years since I watched that movie, better than this.
It's very different though. I feel like the way that what they're going for is, I don't want to spoil either movie, but I feel like what Noah Baumbach is trying to do also stars Laura Dern, but what he's trying to do, I feel like it's kind of in some ways a flip side. It's like they're kind of different ways to look at it.
Yeah, that's actually a very fair point, because it's a similar situation from like, I guess, a different perspective. So yeah, it is interesting. But again, I still really like this movie. I want to be crystal clear. I still very much like this movie.
It's just so good.
It's just not my favorite.
That's fair.
I don't even know what
and it wasn't the Academy's favorite either, apparently.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird things with the Oscar nominations. We'll talk about that. There's a lot of weird things that unrelated to Is This Thing On. I found like some of the missing stuff in this year's Oscar ceremony, like the nominees. I found them kind of weird and jarring. Yeah. Some of them were like, really? Oh, I must have missed something, I guess, this year. We'll talk about that soon.
Yeah, I don't trust the Oscars after they never nominated Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City for Best Picture. I'm never going to believe any of them.
Right. Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
joking.
Well,
I'm joking.
let's do it. Let's move into, I think, a movie that you are definitely higher on in The Bone Temple. 28 years later, The Bone Temple, directed by Nia DaCosta and written by Alex Garland, much like the rest of
Hmm.
this trilogy. Hopefully, there is a third movie in the trilogy. I don't know. We'll see based on the
Box
box
office
office
results.
success or not. But yeah, this is the second in the trilogy. The first one was last year, directed by Danny Boyle, and this one picks up basically where the last one ended in a large
Yeah.
way. It also stars Ray Fiennes as well, and Jack O'Connell, and yeah, it's a pretty big one. I'm gonna just say my kind of brief thoughts, I guess, and then you can jump in. But I feel like I really like this movie a lot. I do not like it as much as the first iteration, like the first 28 years later. Not the first iteration. I guess that would have been 28 days later, but I feel like it's not quite as good as 28 years later. And my reasoning for that was it's the detail orientation in the first film, and the way it's shot is also unique, but there's like a element of being thrown into this universe. And I'm not sure I believed it quite as much in the second movie, but there is so much good writing in it. It is so well written and so much amazing acting. And there's like there's one set piece, there's one moment that I was like kind of blown away. It kind of almost reminds me of the Sinners moment in a strange
Hmm.
way, actually. A great moment to see a movie in theaters, I guess. It was so awesome. And I think Ray Fiennes in particular was amazing. Chi Lewis Perry is also so good. He's like a past MMA fighter, and he plays Samson. So good. Anyway, I'm a big fan of this film. I just didn't quite love it as much as the previous one, but who cares? What does that matter, really? It's just
Hmm.
such a joy to watch. And yeah, so I'll throw it to you. I know, like, you coming out of the theater, I'm sure you love this film.
Yeah.
But yeah, go on.
Yeah, dude. I freaking love this movie. I think it's awesome. I do agree with you that th- when I compare it to the first movie, I think it's missing just a little bit of, I think, style. I think the style of how the first movie was shot and its direction was a little bit more refined and more familiar compared to, like when you're watching 28 years later going into 28 days later going into 28 years later. Because again, it's
Yeah,
directed by Danny Boyle for both of those. And he's just refined his style over, the course of 24
he's
years since
just
that
really
movie came out.
creative in the way that he shoots films. I think that's just his
Mm-hmm.
thing. I think Nia DaCosta kind of shoots him a little bit more straightforward, kind of
Yep.
clear to like Spielberg, and we're
Yep.
in like a strange, not to knock anyone, but I just feel like Danny Boyle had like a very almost, again, we talked about chaotic style of the way is this thing on this shot. That was kind of Danny Boyle kind of his editing and the chaos of the way it was shot was unique, definitely.
Yeah, very much so. So I think that's kind of really the major thing that differentiates these two in the form of quality. However, I think just like how in the first movie it took this like genre, this zombie movie horror genre that's been essentially done to death and created something wholly unique. Um, they captured that again in 28 years later, the Bone Temple, in a lot of ways, and they do so many cool fucking ideas in this movie where it literally you're in it for the ride. And I know you mentioned like there is this like almost lack of realism, not necessarily realism, but like believability of what everything, like, what's occurring compared to the first first movie in the 28 years later franchise. It's tough to talk about these because there's 4 movies now, but you know what I'm trying to say. And I guess I can kind of agree with you on that, but there is this, not necessarily a suspension of disbelief, just it almost feels like Alex Garland, the writer, trusted the audience enough to figure that out on their own. There's like one. Sorry, go ahead, please.
Well, this is where I don't necessarily agree. Like, how do you figure it out on your own? Like, because the first movie establishes certain characters living in a specific spot that makes it
Yep.
clear how they would have survived.
Mm-hmm.
And in the second movie, you're like, wait, there's other people surviving, but this has been 28 years. So that's my issue with it. Like, wait, they're where? They're just in the middle of the mainland, like these zombies are fast and they're
Yeah.
strong. So how? And that's my issue. It's not like a breaking.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a. I was almost a game breaking, but it's not like a plot breaking situation for me. But
Yeah.
it's not. It's not as like I'm like how do we be squaring that? Like I'm not gonna figure that out. I couldn't figure that out. Like how did these particular people survive? Because you see them not doing too well. So you're like, wait a second, 28 years? Like it's confusing in that way, and I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I don't I don't know if they thought it through, and that's kind of my issue with it. Like I love Alex Garland's writing; I think he's amazing. But I wonder if like they're like kind of like, suspend your disbelief a little bit, just a tiny bit. You know,
Yeah.
this ain't Companion. That film definitely asks you to suspend your disbelief quite a bit, but this doesn't do that. But that's kind of the level I was saying before. If you didn't understand my drift, or maybe you
I follow
did.
you now. That makes a little bit more sense. Yeah. Yeah. That does make a little bit more sense. I can see where you're coming from. I don't
It's not
disagree
bad
with
though.
you.
It's
Yeah.
not a bad
Yeah.
thing because I'm like, you just got to suspend your disbelief. It's not a plot hole. It's just kind of like, it's
Like,
kind of like,
okay.
that's too bad because it's a blight on an otherwise, because they do a lot in the first movie to
Mhm.
establish like how things are in the world around them in the UK where this infection is taken hold, and they're like, well, okay, I understand this. This is crazy. And you're like, oh, I can see all these people are surviving. They got this whole plan and there's a lot of things in place, strategies. I'm like, this is
Yeah.
very interesting. And they take risks, but you're like, should they be? And it's kind of cool. But this is like, well, wait, there's like some strange things going on. Like, not everyone is in this same situation as the people shown in the first movie. And like, what is the situation? And that's kind of the question. And like, I'm not believing as much. Sorry, I'll throw it back to you. You were about to say something.
No. That's fair, man. I do get where you're coming from there for sure. I think that makes a little bit of sense because yeah, there are these I guess these moments where yeah, you literally do have to suspend your disbelief where I feel like you never really had to in the first one. So
No,
no,
they
like
thought everything through.
yeah, they did think that through,
Felt
and I
like
guess
it anyway.
there is I guess this lack of scale, and when I mean scale,
Yeah,
like distance,
that's a
like
great word to use.
yeah, like it's
Yeah.
like where are they compared to, you know, like
Mhm.
where is like the Bone Temple compared to where, you know, Spike came from in the first movie, compared to where he was at the start of the movie, compared to where this random like farmhouse is, and like these set pieces in it. And you
Yeah,
just kind
that's a
of,
great point.
you don't necessarily even know how many days pass throughout this movie. You assume that maybe it's just a couple days, but at the same time,
Yeah,
like they could have been traveling for days and we just don't see it. It does
yeah, but
this
that's like
intro.
tricky because again,
Yeah.
the threat is so deep that
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah. So like yeah, that is, I think that's a fair assumption, but they also like show how capable a lot of these people are, at least like the core cast that you're following
That's
along with.
good. Yeah.
The one thing that I do think that this movie does super interest, or like super, sorry, let me take a step back. I don't know how the fuck I'm talking right now. The one thing that this movie does incredibly well is how it brings these main characters, or this main character from the first movie, to essentially being a side character, still part of the main cast, but not the focus point, and brings this character that was introduced either right at the end of the movie or as a side character in the first movie and brought them to the forefront. And again, you're following the movie essentially from the villain's perspective 50% of the time. And I think that's a
Yeah.
really cool thing to do. And it's like the villains that we're following and watching, they're cool. They're intriguing. They're fucked. And it's really disgusting and messed up.
Yeah.
But it is
Yeah.
still like this like cool like setup. And again, like as soon as you bring in like, you know, this like religious angle to it, and it kind of makes sense why there's a religious angle. And you know, the character like explains like what his beliefs are, not in like the Walking Dead way where I'm going to sit down and tell you exactly how I feel, but just based on context clues from the beginning of 28 years later. And then these
Yeah.
moments throughout 28 years later, Bone Temple, where you're like, oh shit. Yeah. This guy's fucked in the head for good reason though. And like believes this for good reason because again, he was a child when everything happened, and you know, his worldview adjusted immediately. And again, there's some like really cool reveals throughout the movie, and how the two independent tales that are occurring throughout the movie eventually intersect at the end. is fucking awesome. There's this, again, I think it's the scene that you're talking about at the end of this movie with like the music blaring and everything. That is so fucking cool. It is one of the coolest things I've seen in a movie in God knows how long, where I'm like smiling ear to ear, despite the fucked up circumstances that are occurring. And this movie, although again dealing with incredibly dark themes and like really fucked up scenarios, is like really fun to watch. Whereas I think that, I guess tonally it's different from 28 Years Later, where I think 28 Years Later, the start is like fairly anxiety inducing and intense. And it becomes kind of like a somber tale, like this sad, like family story, which again, I love. And this movie is kind of a romp all the way through in a lot of ways. And you're like, holy fuck, like this shit's crazy. But I want to know, like, I can see myself, going back to this and like rewatching it, just if I'm in like the mood to watch something fun. Whereas like when I want to watch 28 Years Later again, or like when I decide to watch 28 Years Later again, I feel like I got to be in a headspace where I'm like, I just want to watch some like really high quality, like emotional storytelling. That's still, a lot of fun moments. And like, there's again, cool camera angles that Danny Boyle does and everything. But yeah, I really love this movie. I thought it was fantastic. It's my favorite movie of 2026 so far. Technically the only 2026 movie I've watched in theory, but like my favorite movie this year. And how 28 Years Later was my favorite movie of last year, I wouldn't be surprised finishing this year and being like 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple was my favorite movie of 2026.
It's interesting. Like, it is very, very fun to watch. There's that element of it. I feel like, you're right. Compared to the first. Yeah, it's so interesting. It's so cool how they built this essentially as a trilogy right from the get-go. Like they thought about it and it feels like a TV show or like a mini series more than it does a movie movies in some way.
Yeah.
So it's like seems like it's even the way this one ends, you're like, oh, I see where they're going to go with it. Like you understand that it's going to continue and which directions it's going to go. I didn't quite understand how where they were going to go from the first one, because it does end pretty well, but then they kind of epilogue it and they give you a little bit more to kind of show you where they're going with the storyline. I'm curious how they're going to end the entire trilogy, less so how they're going to end the last film. And I hope that, again, because the box office success hasn't been exactly ripe, I'm hoping that they do get enough money to fund the last film, because they haven't started it yet, and that's supposed to be, I'm pretty sure, directed by Danny Boyle as well. So that's super exciting. But yeah, no, I'm a big fan of this film. It was amazing. It was very, very good. It's great. It's just the sense of scale is confusing in travel, but also like, how is everyone living? The scale is weird because you're thrown into the space, and the Bone Temple seems to be central to everything, but where is it? You're like confused by it's just confusing. And that's my only criticism.
Kind of hard to follow.
Yeah, but it's cool like how they also investigated the infection in this one from a perspective of like looking at the overall universe of the 28 Days universe, and looking at how, like, what does it mean? Like, how do these work? And again, Ray Fiennes is so good in this. It's just crazy how good he is. And like the relationships with certain characters in this movie are very fun to watch and very interesting. And this is the second kind of movie we see Jack O'Connell as like a deranged villain in the last 12 months, and he did a really good job in both of them. So I'm a big fan. This is also the best film. Wait, is it the best film for 2026 that I've seen? Yeah, as a 2026 film, 100%. I did watch another movie though, and I'm about to talk about it if we're done talking about 28 years.
Yeah, just give me a minute. Sorry.
Oh, you're out again. Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, apologies. I'm going to be interrupted momentarily. I just don't know exactly when, but I will be interrupted again shortly. I apologize.
That's all right. It's the negatives of being a top tier businessman, you know?
Yeah, you know it, dude.
What were you gonna say before we move on to?
Yeah, before we move on from 28 Years Later, I have a theory of why it's not doing well box office wise.
Okay.
And honestly, I think it genuinely has to do with it releasing so close to the last one. And the reason why I think this, Simon, is I think about the last movie franchise that had a very similar situation happen. And that was Star Wars when The Last Jedi came out. And then the Han Solo movie called Solo: A Star Wars Story came out only 5 months later. I think December to May. I think there's such a small gap in between that I think a lot of the average people out there might not realize that these movies are honestly different. And the reason why I think my theory is correct is at work, I was, one of my morning meetings, I think literally the day after we watched this movie, I mentioned on my work call, I was like, man, I just watched the 28 Years Later movie last night. It was awesome. And like my one buddy who watched the first 28 Years Later movie literally says like, dude, there's another one? Like, I didn't even know. And I think it's probably because he assumed that the trailers for this new 28 Years Later movie were just trailers for the DVD release of the last one. And I think the marketing kind of did that a disservice to this. So I'm a little bit saddened by that. I hope they don't get gun shy of releasing a third one because of this. I just think, they didn't do a good job of differentiating, and I think it would have been better if they just, wait a full year. Like, you don't necessarily have to release this movie so soon after. As much as I'm
a full
happy
year.
about it. Huh?
It came out in the beginning of last year.
Didn't it? Didn't it come out in the summer?
I don't think so. Did it? Was it June? Oh, it was June. Yeah, it was.
I swear.
Just the beginning of summer.
So it's been about 6 months,
right.
give or take a bit. 6-7 months.
More than 6 months, yeah. But still, you're right. Yeah, I thought it was January for some reason. Yeah, that's a good call out. I don't know. I'm not sure that that's the reason, though. I don't know. I feel like the marketing's muted. Is there really any marketing? Like, it made the other one 28 Years Later made 151 million worldwide, and this film has made 30 million so far, which is nothing compared to what they spent. So so I don't know. You're maybe right though. I would agree. I feel like that's a smart idea. You at least gap it by 12 months. Why the gap? You want people to want it a little bit more, and you also can avoid confusion that way. So I don't disagree with you. That's a good call out. Yeah. It's too bad. It's too bad. I don't know why I thought it was in the winter. It was like one of the first movies we saw last year, but it's not. We saw lots of movies before that.
We saw many. We saw many. We saw at least one movie before that. At least
one. At least one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I hope it does well. Like, it would be really crappy if they don't get to complete the trilogy because they just like set up a pretty big reveal at the end. So I was like, that would be such a disappointment. Oh well,
I'd be very bummed out.
Yeah,
I thought it was already greenlit though. Did they not already greenlit the sequel? I guess they could always go back on it, but I swear they greenlit the third one. I don't know. It's not. They aren't that expensive to make. That's for sure. I think it was like something like 40 million or something. Oh, I don't know. That's AI though. Google AI says yes. The third 28 Years Later film has been officially greenlit by Sony, but I'd have to click a link to see if that's true. Yeah, Deadline back in December said 28 Years Later Part 3 moves forward with Cillian Murphy in talks. I wonder why.
Well, I don't know what the heck then. Like, yeah, I just don't know why did they do that? Why did they put the movies? Why did they release them so close? I mean, there's nothing in January. There's not that many movies, so there's that advantage, I guess. I don't know. That seems like a bit of an unnecessary risk. Yeah, it's a good call. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
This befuddles me a lot when they do this. No, the Star Wars one was way worse though, if I remember. Oh no, it wasn't, because it was about the same. Yeah, because it was 2019, like November or December for Rise of Skywalker, and then Solo was in May. So it wasn't that far off. It is a bizarre thing to do. Yeah, people were confused with Star Wars. I think that didn't help it. I mean, it may not be the only reason, but right. Maybe people were tired because of Rise of Skywalker being garbage. Maybe that also did it a little bit. They didn't want to go see Solo.
Didn't it come out between Last Jedi or after the Last Jedi?
Oh, it was Last Jedi. Oh, well, I thought so. Same reason.
Yeah, same reason for some people. And I guess you could make the argument. People,
yeah. Unfortunately, I don't talk to many people who like say The Last Jedi is good. I don't know many people except for you. Like, it's rare. I don't know why that's so rare, because critics love it. And the Rise of Skywalker is like genuinely thought to be bad by critics. And I think true fans of Star Wars, but anyway. Not Rotten Tomatoes fans, apparently.
Hi, yeah,
But
yeah. Yeah.
anyway,
So
should we move on?
cool. I guess so. We're not doing number rating anymore. Did we just kind of give up on that? I'm fine with that.
The problem with doing number rating, I feel like we should just do it when we do, if we do a closer look
Okay.
episodes, just because it keeps it simple. I don't like doing it because I feel like my numbers change constantly in Letterboxd. So I'm giving you the Letterboxd number and then I like change it. Like, is this thing on kind of went a little bit up, and I almost moved the Bone Temple up a little bit too, but I
Mm-hmm.
took it back down. Just to kind of go into what I've been watching, I'm not going to go into them too much, but I saw Jay Kelly on Netflix, which I liked quite a bit. Not speaking of Noah Baumbach, um, and it was pretty good. And I also watched The Rip, which I thought was very entertaining, and I recommend it.
Mm.
It reminds me of a game of Resistance or Mafia, where you're like trying to guess who the villain is. You can't figure it out. But The Rip is stars Matt Damon and Ben Affleck in a movie directed by Joe Carnahan, and basically they're cops, and they're going into these houses. They're given a tip about them being stash houses for the cartels down in South America or Mexico, and so they go into these stash houses to take the money out and then basically dismantle some of the cash flow from these cartels. And they essentially find, as shown in the trailer, a huge stash house. Like, it has so much money, and the problem is they know that there's corrupt cops somewhere in their organization. It's kind of shown that they're worried that there is some people are corrupt somewhere, and they're worried that there could be a corrupt person in this organization, and everyone's kind of like on their toes, and they don't know who to trust. And so it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's a complete movie about who to trust. I didn't love the action sequences as much, and I wasn't a huge fan of like the action music in it. That was kind of the downfall of it, but I felt like the acting was very strong and the writing overall was strong, and they were kind of throwing hints here and there about like who it could be, but they're kind of like red herrings sometimes. It stars like Stephen Yeun as well. It stars
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Chandler as well, and Teyana Taylor, who's like blowing up.
Oh,
She's just in everything.
yeah.
So Tiana Taylor's in this, as well as obviously One Battle After Another. Oh, and she's in that Kim Kardashian show. I always forget about that show because it's crazy. Glenn Close, Kim Kardashian, and Tiana Taylor are in the, what is it called?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, is this thing on?
All's fair, something like that.
All's Fair. Yeah, some like short. Yeah, All's Fair. That's right. Some lawyer
Yeah, I
show
think this
that's
the
not
beauty
doing well
show.
at all. It's okay.
Yeah, it's not getting that bad reviews. 73.
Yeah, it's okay. That one, because we were about to. I don't know if I told you this. We were about to watch the other. Was it Ryan Murphy show? The one with the dude from Sons of Anarchy. What's his name? Charlie Hunnam. We're gonna
Mm.
watch the show where he plays like that serial killer, and because we watched the other two monster shows, like the shows on Netflix called like the Monster series. This is the Ed Gein story, and and we were like, we're about to watch it because I have Netflix now, and we bowed out because we're like, no, I can't in good conscience. It's like below 20% or something. It's really low on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, I can watch something. We have so many things to watch. Do we really need to watch this particular thing? It sucks because I think Charlie Hunnam looked like he was probably doing a good job. I just feel like the overall writing might have been the problem. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll watch it when I get Netflix again. But anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, The Rip. I recommend it if you're interested in it. Actually, I don't recommend it to you. I recommend it to the ether. Everyone out in the world, if you're interested in like a kind of like a it's not a murder mystery though. It's a mystery show, but you're trying to figure out who the traitor is. It's like a game of traitor. You're trying to figure it out. It's really kind of an
Dude,
what?
that just reminds me. I've also been watching The Traitors because it came back,
Great.
the hit reality TV show.
Awesome.
So this is like a movie version of the hit reality TV show, The Traitors, is what you're telling me.
I don't know about that because I haven't seen the trailers.
That's what you've just been saying. That's what
it's
you've been
entertaining.
saying.
If you have Netflix, I would say it's a good time. It's
Yeah.
entertaining and it's got a good budget. It's cool. It's exciting, and I there's nothing really I didn't like about it really, except again I just wasn't a huge fan of the. It felt like the action sequences were kind of forced. Like it's like the one of those examples where the action isn't dictated by the plot in a strange way. Like it's
Yeah.
not really necessary. Like some of them were needed, but some of them were like, is this really? Do you really need to go into this now? It just kind of felt gratuitous for no reason. So that was my only kind of criticism of it. And I think the Ben Affleck Matt Damon duo is great. There've been a lot of movies together. They have worked together a lot. They're best friends, whatever, and they won an Oscar together. It's cool, but I feel like I can't get enough of them. I'm good with it. I'm happy to see them together.
Nice.
But anyway.
Cool.
They have good chemistry.
All right.
You out?
Yeah, sorry, 1 second. My apologies.
Another business call. This businessman, he can't be stopped. He continues to business. He continues to businessman. He is the best at business. All right, I'm going to stop. I don't really have any material in this. Okay, bye.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All these business calls after hours, man. It's absurd. It's absurd, I tell you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's what happens when you deal with clients on the West Coast. You know what I mean, man? 3 hours behind.
Right. Of course, that's got to be what it is. Now, Adrian, we're going to move on to the montage, the sequence of our show, in which I briefly present at least 7 of the bye-week's smaller news stories as Adrian delivers a brisk verdict. Number 1. After Paramount's multiple rejected hostile takeover bids to acquire Warner Bros. Discovery, David Ellison's Paramount is now suing Warner Bros. To force them to provide transparent details of Netflix's successful bid to purchase Warner Bros.
Oh my God, get over it. Jesus, so clingy.
Number 2. According to publication Deadline, Whiplash director Damien Chazelle's mysterious next film will star Knives Out actor Daniel Craig, 28 Days Later actor Cillian Murphy, and Dying for Sex Golden Globe winner Michelle Williams, with production scheduled for later this year.
Oh, okay. Good cast. Good cast. Good cast.
Number 3. Interstellar composer Hans Zimmer has been hired on to score HBO's Harry Potter TV series.
Oh, amazing. Okay. Not too shabby. Man, everyone's so negative about this Harry Potter show. I'm in it. I'm going to enjoy it. Why the fuck not?
Yeah.
Unless it's bad.
Well, yeah. Number 4. Amazon has announced that they have greenlit a reality TV series called Fallout Shelter, based on video game series Fallout, where contestants compete while trapped in a Fallout shelter.
That's so fucking stupid, dude. What a leap in logic there. I hope they bash each other with wrenches and pipes. That's one of the challenges. You got to kill one of your fucking Fallout shelter people with a fucking pipe. You gotta sick a huge rodent, roach, filled with radiation on your fellow man. Have them kill them.
I feel like there might be laws against that type of thing.
Oh my God.
Number 5. In an interview by the New York Times, Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos now claims that Netflix would commit to a 45-day theatrical window if their deal to purchase Warner Bros. Finally goes through.
Yeah, you better, Saran, do that.
Number 6. As Deadline reports, Netflix has adjusted their Warner Bros. Purchase agreement to make it an all-cash deal now by removing the stocks part of the deal. This amendment was made to the agreement to make the deal even more appealing to Warner Bros. Shareholders and to potentially speed up the process of closing the deal by removing the uncertainty of shifting stock prices. By the way, all of these news items about Warner Bros. Purchase are in order, I believe, of chronology.
That's amazing. I mean, good for them for having that much cash on hand. What a twist.
Wow, you seem so interested.
Let's speed up this process. Let's speed up this process. I'm just over it. Who the fuck cares? It's happening.
Yes, that's why it's in the montage. That's why we're not talking about it in the trilogy of topics. Anyways, Number 7. As Deadline reports, Flash and Birds of Prey scribe Christina Hodson has been tapped as the screenwriter for the upcoming DC Universe Batman film, Batman, the Brave and the Bold. As announced previously, its director, Andy Muschietti, has been set as director.
Nice. Okay, fantastic. I don't know. I'm just waiting.
And that concludes the montage.
Didn't James Gunn say that we won't be hearing about anything Batman Brave and the Bold until after Batman Part 2? Didn't he say that?
Huh. I don't know. Maybe it was just, he didn't reveal it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Leaks happen,
Yeah.
But that's good that there's somebody writing it. Jesus, if they don't get a writer first, they're kind of screwed. I thought they already wrote this movie. I thought it was already in progress of being written.
I know.
There's no script at all. Like you didn't have anything until now. You just started. That's the strange thing.
They might have a storyboard or something.
Every time I hear Batman, the Brave and the Bold, I think about the freaking Brave and the Bold. Isn't it called the Brave and the Bold, that soap opera?
No.
The Brave and
Wait,
the
maybe
Beautiful.
it is. I'm thinking it's like some because I'm thinking Young and Restless, and then Brave and
there's just something about Brave and the Bold. It's like Young and the Restless. It's the same idea,
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
I
oh
can't
my
find
god,
it
what are they?
quickly.
What are they? What are those called? Soap opera. Soap
Wait,
opera.
you're still there? You still don't
Bold
know?
and the Beautiful. Bold and Beautiful.
Bold and the Beautiful, whatever. That's what I think
Bold and the
about.
Beautiful.
My grandmother used to watch so many soap operas constantly. She would always watch the daytime soap operas. I think her soap opera of choice though was Young and the Restless. She would watch it and she would be always like, I have to go see my show. A show. I gotta go see my show. I can't be making Palachinka right now. I gotta watch my. I gotta. I gotta go
Yeah.
watch Young and the Restless at 1 p.m. or whenever it aired. Oh, 5 p.m. I think it aired like right at like
Yeah.
shifts end for 9 to 5 workers or something.
It's crazy, like soap operas, they're machines, man. Like how quickly
That was
they're
crazy.
released. Like they'll film, I don't know, like months in advance, and then just essentially release a new episode every day. It's like it's impossible to catch up on, and the storylines are crazy. Because my wife's mom will watch some soap operas, and occasionally she'll talk about some stuff. There's like demonic possessions, people dying and then being reincarnated, having like face surgeries to become different actors. It's crazy. They don't fuck
It's
around.
great. These plots are crazy. There's just
Yeah.
it is a machine. I agree. It's a crazy machine. It's an impressive one. I will say this too. Like I was watching Young and the Restless with my grandmother to hang out with her at certain times, and she's just she put it on. And I'm like I'm at her house. I'm not gonna just go. What am I gonna go do something else? So I'm like just hanging out with her, and I'm watching Young and the Restless. I'm like, wait, is that Jesse Faden? I'm like,
Mhm.
it is. It's freaking
Yeah.
Courtney Hope. She's in like a large part of Young and the Restless. It's
Yeah.
weird. Like a lot of soap opera actors, they don't break out of those roles though. They kind of just stay in those roles. That's like a genre they just live in. They don't like leave it. So it's kind of neat. Like Courtney Hope, like was in a pretty big budget role at a huge studio. Well, it's bigger now than ever, but
Yeah.
like in Remedy Entertainment, like I don't know. I feel like that's such a good game, Control.
Yeah.
And so it's
It's
interesting
funny
to
that
see
you
her.
mentioned that, because like when I played Control a couple years back or a few years back, my then girlfriend, who is now my wife, she literally was like, I think I know who that actress is, and it's because her
Right.
mom watches The Young and the Restless.
Oh,
And
right.
like
There you go.
she's like, I feel like
Yeah.
I've seen this woman before, and she was like Google searching
Yeah.
it and found out that she was on The Young and the Restless.
I was surprised. This was years ago now. This was like 5
Yeah.
years ago, like right when Control was kind of coming out. I was like, was watching. I was like, wait a second.
Control was coming out. Control came out, and they're like, I'm gay.
What?
Because Control was coming out.
I get it. Yeah. Wow. Good one.
Thanks, dude.
All right, Adrian.
Thanks.
Let's dive in now into a trilogy of news, a component of our show where we discuss at least 3 film and TV industry news stories that have been somewhat zeitgeisty over the past 2 weeks. Adrian, we begin with awards season being in full swing, and we're going to discuss this with the announcement, which actually happened today as the time of this recording, because we were recording this on a Thursday. But the Oscar nominees were announced today, which is kind of exciting, I guess. It's kind of cool. But it's the 98th annual Academy Awards. It's going to be hosted by Conan O'Brien, and it airs on March 15th, 2026. Notably, I put some notes here, but if you have any other things to talk about, we'll bring them up. Notably, director Ryan Coogler's Sinners, one of the biggest movies of last year from Warner Brothers, has made Oscars history with 16 nominations, which is crazy. The previous top number of nominations, I think, was 14. If I'm not mistaken. I don't know which movie it was. I feel like it might have been Lord of the Rings. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, so that's one notable thing. There were other things too, actually. I wrote them down separately. But is there anything that kind of stood out to you before I get into some other things, other notes about the Oscar nominations? Are you any snubs or surprises that you're interested in talking about here today?
Not off the top of my head, man. I mean, I'll be honest with you, Simon. I didn't look too deeply into these nominations because I kind of forgot that they were released today.
Oh,
so
that's okay.
It's like I mean, I've been working all day, Simon. I work 8 hours, and I think these were released about 8 hours ago. So
is it released at 8:30 in the morning?
Yeah, and I was working. So it's been longer than 8 hours. It's been 11 hours since the release of those.
Oh well, what can you do? Sometimes timelines don't match up. But here's what I got. Here are the things that surprised me, and then we can jump into the Golden Globes because that did happen pretty much right after we recorded the last episode. And you watched
I watched them.
show.
I watched them.
Right. So we can talk about that too because again, the award season full swing right now. It's moving along. Critics' Choice Awards. Wow, lots of things going on. But here's the thing. Here's some weird things. Okay, that I found. Timothy Chalamet. First of all, this is a cool thing. Timothy Chalamet became the youngest actor since Marlon Brando to garner 3 Oscar nominations.
Amazing.
That's pretty cool. Good for him. Good for him.
Good for
Timothy. Here's another thing I didn't know. Did you ever know why they capped out the nominees for Best Picture? Sorry, did you ever? I just give it away. Did you ever know about why there's sometimes less or more Best Picture nominees?
No, please tell me, Simon.
I thought that they put. I thought they were just making it up each year, but it's not the way they do preferential voting. So they make you listed in a row of what movies you want to be nominated for Best Picture, and then it's just there's basically a cutoff that gets them put into the pool, and they can go up to maximum of 10. That's why there's never more than 10. That's the reason. But they made the cap 10 at a certain point years ago. I think it was the first year. I think the first year was when Up was nominated. I can't remember which year that was, but. I think that was the first year. I just didn't know that, and I thought that was a really neat thing because I was always wondering, like, why do they keep changing the rules? Like, why are they? And honestly, this is exactly how the Video Game Awards should do it. I don't know what they're doing over at the Video Game Awards. I think it's absurd, and it's really a disservice to the industry in which they claim to honor that they don't put more than 6 nominees for Video Game Awards. And the best way to do that is if you have the nominating party, the nominating group of individuals putting the nominees in a list, and you choose it based on, like, again, in order of the movies you want to see win the most. I feel like that's the best way to do that. It's kind of maybe the best way that we should do voting for our countries. Actually, you should kind of do preferential voting as opposed to, but I don't know. That's not going to change. Things don't change that quickly in the old government level. But anyway, that would have been cool. But yeah, that's one thing I think the Video Game Awards should do. But I thought that was really cool. That's why there's 10 nominees this time for Best Picture. You might have already seen them up in your screen there.
Yeah,
which is cool.
Them up.
One weird thing that I thought was really weird is a snub. There's a lot of snubs that I was like, wow, that's weird. Paul Mescal was not nominated for Hamnet, but he was like kind of nominated everywhere else, which was strange. So that's weird. There's no love for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson or George Clooney. George Clooney's been nominated quite a bit, I feel like, for Jay Kelly, which I think is a pretty great movie. I like it. Jay Kelly's like Hollywood. It's like Hollywood: A Christmas Carol. That's what I say. It is. It's pretty cool. I like it. Adam Sandler killed it too. Not nominated. And Wicked for Good was completely snubbed. It's not in there at all, which I thought was weird.
Interesting, dude.
Obviously, the first Wicked last year was nominated.
Exactly. I've never seen something fall so hard from grace in such a short amount of time. Everyone was so high on Wicked, the first Wicked movie. Everyone was talking about it like it was the second coming of Jesus Christ. Everyone's like, this is a fucking banger of a movie. It's amazing. Then the second one came out and it was like a fart in the wind, dude. It just kind of like, it became non-existent. And I didn't hear anyone talk about it. People were like, yeah, it's not that good. And then it just died. It was like nothing. And it's kind of crazy to think about. It's a shame.
There's too much. I think like our world is very much like an attention, like governed by like an attention economy. It's getting crazier and crazier out there. There's just too many things drawing our attention. The way that our screens work and, social media and like the video game industry is bigger than ever. And then there's obviously movies and TV shows. TV shows were never as big as they've been now. And so it's like, there's so much trying to draw your attention. So if you are 66% on Rotten Tomatoes, when your first film was well above
a million percent, I think
it was very well regarded, 88%, like for Wicked, the first Wicked. So I think that's part of it. And it just wasn't as well reviewed. So this got, again, shafted, which sucks. But
I also didn't hear like any of the music. Like I feel like everyone talked about the music so highly in the first Wicked, the first one, where they were like, "Wow, defying gravity" or whatever the song was called. I don't know. I don't loved it. But they're like the music is so good. I haven't heard a single thing about the music. I don't know if the music's good or bad in the second one.
Yeah,
I
but how
don't
could it be
actually.
that bad? Didn't they just film it and produce them at the same time? Like
I
that's the
guess
weird
so.
thing. I thought that's what they did.
I guess so.
I don't know. That's
I
bizarre.
I honestly, I'm curious if it just like people turned on Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande over the course of a year, being like, these people are fucking weird. Why are they crying all
But
the
the
time?
critics don't like it. The audience score is really high, dude.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes shows the
Oh,
audience score for Wicked for Good at 93%.
damn, that's
Which is
very
very,
high.
very high.
Then why
Yeah,
haven't I heard about this movie?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's a
Everyone's
strange
asking.
one. Don't know what
Yeah.
happened there, but yeah, no love there. And then the other one that was really weird in my opinion, No Other Choice was not nominated at all for international film even. But we talked about No
Oh
Other
yeah, that's the
Choice.
new Park Chan Wook movie, right?
Yes,
I want to watch that
gentleman
really
who made
bad.
Old Boy. And I thought that was pretty weird because I was very interested in seeing that, and I was like, "Wait, this wasn't nominated for Best International Feature? Like, what happened?" Like, there's some movies in there that I didn't even recognize for the international feature, and I thought it was going to get nominated for Best Picture, and it obviously didn't get that because it didn't even get nominated for Best International Feature. Anyway,
It's incredibly
so I thought
well
that was weird.
regarded. Yeah.
It's very well regarded. And I already mentioned this before. Is This Thing On is completely not nominated at all, and I think that's a shame. Personally, I think that the acting at the very least could have been over the entire awards season could have been nominated a lot more. Personally, I'm kind of disappointed in that aspect. That's too bad.
Yeah,
this is
honestly.
also the Oscar. Sorry,
Go ahead. No, please.
No, I'm changing the subject.
Oh, because I'm going to say like another kind of snub that's sticking out to me that I didn't really think about up until this very moment looking at these lists. Warfare, man. Warfare didn't get nominated for much at all.
Shit. Yeah.
And that movie's
That's
a fucking masterpiece. That's probably one of my favorite movies of last year after like 20 years later.
Very good. Yeah.
Which is kind of bananas to think about because that movie is that movie's something special. Incredibly special.
It is. You just mentioned another movie though that it got 0 nominations. Did you notice
20
that?
years later, I know.
What the? That's weird, no?
Yeah. Same with Weapons, man. Weapons, nothing.
Weapons got nominated.
Oh, did it?
Amy Madigan. Amy Madigan got nominated for Weapons.
Oh, she did. Okay, fantastic. Okay, good to know. Well,
it's all good.
Yeah.
But 28 years later though, how could it not get nominated for anything? It just seems a little strange. Like visual effects or nothing.
Costume design. It is weird to me that like Avatar Fire and Ass got nominated for like best costume design. I guess, I mean, you're designing the costumes on the computer. Does that count?
No, it doesn't. So they must be talking about Spider's outfit.
Oh my God, dude. I swear to God. We talk about Spider one fucking more time.
It has to be. It has to be the reason.
He's fucking, he's weird Tarzan, man, with a mask.
While I was waiting for you to get off one of your calls there, I watched a little clip of James Cameron talking about why he does the high frame rate thing. The high frame rate thing is for 3D. I don't know if I knew that before. I just forgot. But the reason why is because the problem is when something is framey, it has trouble with your mind has problems with 3D images because like the parallax effect or whatever. So that if you can speed up the frame rate, it fixes that issue. That's pretty cool, I thought. I was like, oh, well, that makes perfect sense because people will obviously complain about high frame rate, but they don't understand technology. That's the thing. My brother always talks about the soap opera effect, and he's like, it's just, film doesn't look the same anymore. It's just not good on TVs. It's like, no, just turn off freaking motion smoothing. It solves the problem. Yeah, I agree with that one. That one's actually bad, but I do like the high frame rate when you're actually putting the frames in for real as opposed to making fake frames and motion smoothing.
Yeah,
is actually pretty cool. I think that that was kind of a neat thing about watching Way of Water in theaters last year. I thought that was cool, and I think it does. It is the best 3D, and that's part of the reason why the 3D is so good because he's able to increase the frame rate. Anyway, yes, okay. Well, yeah, that's all I had here. That was the last one I had was what you just said. 28 years later was not nominated. That was bizarre. I thought that was like, there's not one thing it could have been nominated for. It just seems like a shame. Oh, well. It's such a creative movie. It's not really just a zombie movie. It's really creative. I think almost 28 years later is almost more creative than 28 days later. It's just the way that it's shot, even this, like the cinematography, like it wasn't nominated or no one thought the cinematography was cool. There were some crazy shots in that where he uses that friggin' thing where he uses multiple iPhones and It's
Yeah,
in a circle.
like what is
Yeah.
it, like 100 fucking iPhones or something on like a dolly thing or whatever it was?
Apple just added an update for like the new cameras, like the new iPhone 17 Pro cameras can do that now easier because you can kind of merge the video easier. I can't remember what they call
Mm-hmm.
that. What do they call that? I can't remember now. But it's a really cool fact that only only like filmmakers like Danny Boyle would even use.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a really neat thing. Anyway, yeah. So no love there. But anyway, that was kind of my thought process for the Oscars. It was cool. It was the announcements were made by Louis Pullman and what's her name? Oh my god, from Color Purple and from Peacemaker, Danielle Brooks.
That's
So
cool.
they announced the nominees. I watched it at 8:30 in the morning. Pretty much, I just coincidentally was on my computer working, and then I saw it on YouTube. It came up, and I was like, "Oh, okay, sure, I'll watch this." Anyway, yeah. So moving on now. Speaking of award season, to the Golden Globes. You watched the Golden Globes. What did you think about them? What were your thoughts? Like, you have better perspective than I. I just watched a few clips.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I don't know. I've been like kind of vibing with award shows. It's a nice change of pace every once in a while, like, where you just like put it on and it's easy to watch. It's fun. You see these, these totally normal people that are actors coming on stage being real. No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, you do get some like genuinely real like interactions. I'm thinking about Stephen Graham at the Golden Globes. He like went up on stage because he won best actor in a limited series or television movie. He's like, giving his acceptance speech, like saying thank you. And then, right at the end, he looks into the crowd and he's like, oh, Queen Latifah. Oh my God. Just just in shock because he like didn't even notice her. He's like, oh, you're a legend or whatever he said. And there's like these like wholesome moments.
Yeah, it's wholesome, but it's also the effect of having live shows. It's kind of rare. We don't see live shows very much, and these are live, which is kind of unique. Like when you watch, like Jimmy Kimmel Live isn't live. It's like a joke. It's just says it's live. And so like when you see the Video Game Awards and like some guy runs up on stage and starts talking about Bill Clinton or whatever, you know what I mean? Like those types of moments.
Evanoff.
Things can go wrong, and there's something exciting about that. Or like even like E3 used to be very live, and there's a lot that could go wrong. It was interesting. So I feel like that's kind of a fun moment. Like
there's a charm to it. There's a charm to these like
that's
these live events. I don't know. And it just there's like this realness to it, which is always fun. I think the award show itself, like the way it was presented, was a little weird, I think. There's these two guys kind of narrating the show, and I'm sure they're big in the industry. I don't know who the fuck they are, but the one guy, he sounds like this. And I feel bad. Maybe he has like some, I don't know. Should I be rude? Whatever, I'm going to be rude. And he's like talking, and the way he's like talk. Yeah, I am. And I was Googling it, and I'm like, am I the only one thinking this guy sounds fucking weird? Not only his voice, but the like what he's saying. And there's this like weird, like almost like sexual undertones in the way he's talking about people. I'm like, I don't know, this is kind of uncomfortable. But I feel like he's trying to just be a wholesome, nice person. So I feel kind of bad saying this, but I said it. It's out there. We're all gonna die. Yeah, and I don't know, like Nikki Glaser, she was hosting it. I missed the first, like, I want to say like 20 minutes of this, maybe 25 minutes. So I didn't see her kind of opening monologue live. But she's not like hosting the entire event. So there's like a lot of these like almost awkward silences where these guys are like talking about, what the award is and whatever, and like who's walking up on stage. And I don't know, there's this lack of like smoothness to it. And like, again, this like palpable awkwardness. And then again, like Nikki Glaser was there and did host a couple things. I think she's fairly funny. Like she's a comedian. And I think like she says like some jokes. There's a lot of like cringe comedy in it as well, where I'm like, this is not funny. We're like people trying to do like musical comedy. And I feel like musical comedy specifically is an art form. It's very difficult to do. And I can only think of like two, maybe three people that can do it well off the top of my head. And there's like this like musical set that she's trying to do, and it's like it was just grossly unfunny to me. Again, I'm not trying to be funny police here, but again, there was a couple like pretty good moments. I am. So yeah, there was a couple of these moments where I'm just like, fuck, I don't like this. But all in all, it's a good show. I'm happy about some of the wins, like Ray Seahorn winning for Best Actress in Plural Bliss, considering she was snubbed the entire time Better Call Saul was on, which is fucking nuts. Like she never won a single One for Better Call
Right.
Saul. Bananas.
Didn't she
Come
call
on.
out some famous actor as well? She was really excited to be there, and she just like, wasn't that her? Did I see her
I don't
speech?
remember.
No.
It's been
Oh,
it's
I
been
thought
like
she was
2 weeks.
she was just really hyped to be there, and
Yeah.
it's cool. I don't know. That was really neat. Yeah, I think I had a few notes about the Golden Globes. I had Ray Seahorn won for Best Actress. We had one for Pluribus specifically. One Battle After Another and Adolescence both garnered 4 awards each, which is cool. Marty Supreme, Timothée Chalamet won for Marty Supreme, beating out DiCaprio. And there was that really good moment with George Clooney and Don Cheadle. I thought that was awesome. That silly moment where
it was wholesome. It was funny, humorous.
Yeah, it was good. Where they're kind of making fun of the fact that he lost, which is cool because they would have known he would have had a good idea. I think that he was going to lose, or they thought about this in the last half an hour to make this joke. Maybe they had 2 different jokes set, like one where he loses, one where he wins. But it's cool. They did that. I don't know if you remember this, but Matt Damon came on stage when Jimmy Kimmel was hosting for the Emmys, and Matt Damon was like, "Did you win?" And he's like eating an apple. It's like it's a really like ridiculous thing. And Jimmy Kimmel's like, I didn't win. You're in the audience, you dick. And he's like, I didn't know. I didn't win. There's like that feud is just very entertaining to me. The Jimmy Kimmel Matt Damon feud. So I like that. But anyway, it was cool. You had something else to mention? Sorry.
It's also interesting. Like, I don't know. I feel like there are like specific presenters that do a really great job presenting. And like, I think a lot of these people are reading off of teleprompters, and some of it seems so like stale, which is always interesting.
I think they're all reading off of teleprompters.
Well, that's what I mean. Like they all are. And some of the presenters like read it so stale and like feel almost like ill prepared. But then you have like the George Clooney, Don Cheadle situation, which just feels like it seems legit.
Natural.
Like, it's very natural.
Or the Smartless guys. Like Will Arnett, Jason Bateman, and Sean Hayes. That was a pretty good moment too, where the announcer, I don't know if it was the one you didn't like, said that I don't really care for Jason Bateman. And Jason Bateman's just like bewildered on stage. He's clearly not looking at a prompter. Yeah. But he's positioned really well that the mic can catch him though. So he knew where to stand. He was hitting his mark, I think, because you can still hear him in the PA. So I don't know. There's good moments that felt like they were very natural, as if like they weren't scripted, but they clearly had to have been.
Like. And then you have like Joe Keery and Charlie XCX on stage doing the award, and Charlie XCX is definitely under the influence of something and just like very like uncomfortable. And then I feel like Joe Keery's standing up there being like, "Oh my god, like what the fuck's happening?" So again, there's some good moments there.
Anne Hathaway and what's his name, James Franco awards for the Oscars.
I don't
thought that James Franco was high.
Oh.
They both hosted together. It was like one of the notable ones that people didn't love for hosts. I didn't mind it. I watched that Oscars. I don't
think I watched that Oscars. I definitely didn't watch that Oscars.
Yeah, but
Anne Hathaway hosted.
And then I got.
Oh my goodness.
What? Sorry.
Anne Hathaway hosted.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I love Anne Hathaway.
James Franco simultaneously. But yeah, Chloe Zhao won for Hamnet for Best Drama Film. Paul Thomas Anderson won for One Battle After Another on the Best Comedy Film. That's barely a comedy, but okay.
I hate the awards for that, like Best Comedy or Musical, and then One Battle After Another's in there. I'm like,
yeah.
Just because there are funny moments in a movie doesn't make it a comedy. It's weird, man.
They submitted themselves for that so that they could more likely win, probably, because they knew what they're going up against. It's strategic. I'm pretty sure it's strategic, which is going to get to my next point. Before I do that, I'll give one more thing. The studio won, and the pit won again. So the studio won for Best TV Comedy, the pit won for Best Drama Series. You don't see why the pit necessarily would win. But was Andor nominated for Best TV Show? Did you notice? For the dramas?
I can't remember. I can't remember.
I feel like it might have been.
It must have been.
Adolescence, of course, being a miniseries, wasn't in that category, so it won its category on the miniseries or movie category. But here's what I'll say about this. Matt Damon recently came out and said that he thought that it was ridiculous to campaign for these award shows. And this is the point I want to make to close this little news story thingy up. I think it's ridiculous that you would campaign. I think the campaigning is stupid, and there shouldn't be campaigning allowed. Everyone should just see the movies. The marketing itself is marketing itself. So if you're marketing Wicked for Good or Zootopia, which got nominated for Best Animated Feature as an example, Zootopia 2. Yeah. You marketed the movie. You're not marketing it to the people on the trades website. When you go on Deadline and the Hollywood Reporter and stuff, like all the ads are like showing up as like for your consideration for Hamnet or whatever. Like, okay, like I get it, but like this is part of the reason why certain things don't get nominated. It's kind of annoying, and some movies are too big to not get attention. I guess like a Oppenheimer as an example, it kind of naturally fell into that mold because it's a blockbuster and it's an artsy film in some way.
Yeah, it won for best comedy last year, I think.
Right, but it's just kind of like, did Sony campaign for 28 years later? No. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they did. And like, I don't think anyone should do that. It's just like they're picking and choosing which movies they like and which they don't from the studios themselves. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, which ones were likely to win? So like Warner Brothers is like, we're going to put Sinners and we're going to make sure that Sinners gets campaigned for and One Battle After Another and F1. F1, by the way, nominated for Best Picture. Interestingly.
I know, which is interesting. I feel like that movie, I didn't hear too much about it. Yeah, sorry. I feel like I didn't hear too much about that movie.
Actually, wait, was it nominated for Best Drama at the Golden Globes? I don't even know.
I don't remember. Idea. I don't think so. I feel like I didn't see anything about F1, but I don't know. I'm not always aware. I'm not always aware.
Sorry, not F1. F1 the movie.
F1 the movie. F1.
Wait a second. F1 the movie garnered 2 nominations at the Golden Globes. One for Box Office Achievement, and the other for Best Original Score by Hans Zimmer. I'm watching F1. It's Hans Zimmer did the score of F1. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna watch. I was planning on watching it anyway, but I was waiting for my Netflix subscription.
It's on Apple TV, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that. Heck yeah! I kind of wanted to see it in theaters, but I just didn't get around to it. Yeah, because it was like one of the biggest movies of last year. Although it didn't need my help, so there's that element. When a movie's doing really well in theaters, like on a box office perspective, I feel less obligated to go see it. I'm probably like the opposite human being though in that way. You know what I mean? Like when people see a movie's doing well, they're like, "Oh, I want to go see Avengers Endgame." You know what I mean? But for me, it's like, "Oh, I don't have to go to this one. I don't have to hold, put my vote with my wallet type of situation."
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. Let's move on. Awards season fast approaching. We're in it. Sorry, the Oscars is fast approaching.
We're in the storm, 15th. Dude. We're in the storm, dude.
Yeah, it's super exciting. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The next thing we're going to talk about here, Adrian, is pretty exciting. It's video game related. As announced by Amazon, Sons of Anarchy and God of War Ragnarok actor Ryan Hurst has been cast as Kratos in the upcoming God of War TV series, being created by Battlestar Galactica showrunner Ronald D. Moore. As reported by Deadline, with casting well underway, Warm Bodies actor Teresa Palmer was also just cast as Lady Sif in the series.
Interesting.
There's more casting news. It seems like every 5 days now, because there's another actor cast who I don't really recognize as who was it? I don't remember. Anyway, sorry, it doesn't really matter.
I know exactly what you're talking about, but I don't remember. I should have had this ready because I was literally looking at it earlier.
Yeah,
this is interesting. So I think the casting is pretty good so far. I think it's great actually so far. I don't know why I'm saying pretty good. I think, having Ryan Hurst cast as Kratos is honestly, I think, a really good choice. And it's also interesting because, again, he plays Thor in God of War Ragnarok, the video game. So it's kind of cool that they're bringing him back and allowing him to play a totally different character. I'm super curious about how that's gonna, work out. The guy that we were talking about is. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, Ryan Hurst is also interesting because he's very, very tall. He's 6'6", which I think is going to be helpful for forced perspective if they're trying to make Kratos seem massive, as he is very, very large. Ryan Hurst, I didn't see him in Sons of Anarchy. I obviously played against him, I guess, in God of War Ragnarok, but. I did see him recently in The Walking Dead. That was a role that his face isn't very much in it because he's like
beta, right, or whatever.
Yeah, he's beta, and he's in a lot in season 11. Like he's in the show quite a bit, and he was pretty great in that. You just don't see his face too much, but when they showed like the side by side of like Kratos from the game and Ryan Hurst's face with the beard, I'm like, I can see it. They did a good job with the face, like trying to match the face in the actor they chose.
I agree.
His voice is perfect. I think his voice is awesome. So it should be cool. Oh, I'm curious to hear who they're going to cast as Thor, but he doesn't.
Thor.
His body type isn't really like Thor in the game, so I'm good with this aspect, I guess. Because it's not really. But yeah, sorry. Who was cast?
A guy named Max Parker, and he was cast as Heimdall.
Right, Heimdall. Right. You know what's weird about this?
Max Parker in anything.
The casting they're announcing is all from God of War Ragnarok, but this timeline theoretically is going to be from 2018's God of War and onward. It's kind of like the soft reboot timeline. So I'm kind of confused as to why those are the only cast. And the person I really want to see cast, because I think he's a great actor in everything I've ever seen him in. And he was in the awards circuit for Justified for a little while, is Jeremy Davies as Boulder. I really want him to be cast as Boulder because I think he's amazing in God of War. And not every actor in God of War is motion captured fully. They don't use their facial animation, but there's two that are very notable. One of them is Richard Schiff as Odin, and the other one is Jeremy Davies as Boulder. They're very much in the game, essentially. Whereas Kratos is not that way. It's as different as you can look, pretty much. Those actors, although that actor is amazing, and he won...
Christopher Judge
won at the Video Game Awards. Yeah, Christopher Judge, who's a great actor, and he did a great job.
Yeah, and he had the longest speech in history at like an award show for a time.
Right, and because he won for best performance.
Yeah, that was ridiculous, dude. That was absolutely absurd.
He was motion captured, but they didn't use his full facial features. They just completely changed the way he looks. Obviously. Oh no, I'm wrong about this. Atreus was also completely. They won't be able to use him, though, because he was a child. So I imagine they'll recast Atreus as Kratos' son in this one. Because Atreus was also motion captured. Yeah, the kid looks exactly like the guy in the game. It's interesting how they picked and chose which ones they would do that for. It's kind of interesting because there's a game like The Last of Us. The Last of Us completely, every character does not look like the actor, except for maybe Marlene, maybe a tiny bit.
Marlene, and then also... Jeffrey Wright's character, I feel like
a little bit similar. Jeffrey, he looks pretty different. Yeah, I was looking at him recently. I was like, he doesn't look like Jeffrey Wright almost at all.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
He looks like him a little bit. He's like the stature of him is cool. They just changed his facial. That's why I was saying Marlene too. Like I feel like she's different enough. But when I saw a photo of Marlene and her character,
ironically, those are the two actors that they brought back for the TV series to play the exact same character.
Right. Yeah,
funnily enough,
that's
actually
true.
So maybe that's why I'm thinking of it like that, or like we're a little biased because of that knowledge.
That's funny. Could be it. Yeah. I'm trying to look up the actor for Marlene and their respective character. But anyway, I'm really excited about this. I think this is awesome casting, and I think the height was a big factor. I really thought it was going to be Jason Momoa. I got to be real. I thought this was such a high profile role, but I don't know if he was even interested in it. It would have been cool. But this is good. I like this. And it's good, too, because Ryan Hurst is not really a lead in too many things, so it kind of works. He's not he's not huge. Like, Jason Momoa is almost too big, and you kind of might not be able to see anyone but Jason Momoa through the makeup still. So it's kind of awesome to have somebody who's maybe going to become bigger now because of this role, but not is not like you don't have Tom Cruise playing Kratos. That would be ridiculous, man. But that would be the worst choice ever. You would have to really force perspective that by a massive amount. But yeah, it's very exciting. I'm excited for this. But anyway,
yeah, I think it is great casting. But again, you make a really good point that they are casting characters from the sequel game, God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
So what I'm assuming this means is that they're going to really develop those characters more and spend more time with them in this series early on.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious how that's going to play out and what they're going to change. Because again, I really love God of War and 2018 and God of War Ragnarok. I think they're fucking awesome games. I had a blast. I thought the stories were freaking stellar. So I'm curious what they're going to change. It's not as near and dear to my heart as The Last of Us Part 2 as well. So I think I'm not going to be as critical of it when it comes to the changes that they're going to make. And I think, again, just from the casting alone, they're going to make some story changes early on to integrate these characters into the series earlier.
Yeah. the thing, yeah, again, I just hope Jeremy Davies. Jeremy Davies is like my number one casting choice. I don't know how I haven't talked about that before. We've talked about this show and the casting for a while. We've kind of like dabbling and talking about it. I feel like, again, I think he's underrated. He's not in enough things, and it frustrates me. I love him in Lost, but I think he's amazing in Justified. And so I think he's amazing in Thor. Sorry, in Thor. In God of War. I think he's really good. Like, I think that's one of the most compelling things about the God of War game in some aspect. It's like not the most compelling, but I mean, there's a lot of good things about it in terms of a narrative perspective and the acting, but I think he's amazing. So I really hope that happens. But here's another thing that I thought was weird, or I'm hoping happens. So they're focusing on God of War Ragnarok actors right now. Maybe that's just a coincidence. The weird thing is, like, well, first of all, Lady Sif is not that important. But Odin
game,
is.
To be fair, yeah. Yeah.
Odin is important. So you don't, and Baldur is very important in the first game. So I'm like, what? You didn't cast those yet, or maybe it just never leaked, or it's just a little weird in that Odin's more important than Lady Sif. So why didn't that get cast, even if it's God of War Ragnarok you're focusing on? I'm wondering if they're making the deal with Richard Schiff because he's been around longer and he's got a more veteran actor. I don't know. But here's what I wanted to say. This game, what I interpreted it as is because it's a TV show, much like The Last of Us goes back in time and shows us scenes of things that aren't even actually in The Last of Us games because there's just no context for that because they never made that yet. So Neil Druckmann just wrote up scenes of, like, Pedro Pascal's character, like Joel's father in the past, which I think is an amazing scene in the show, just so awesome. Yeah. And there's just like things that they do, like the flashbacks that are really cool because actually the first flashback of the entire show, which is the very first shot of the show, which is like that talk show. I thought that was really cool about talking about the fungus and how that can, like, I just thought that fake talk show was really, really a neat kind of, it taught us really quickly. It's like, here's the lesson on what this fungus can do and how it really exists in real life. And actually they reference that in Weapons in a weird, strange way. Yeah. The fungus that can control your mind, which is so interesting. And so it's funny because that exists, that's such a great thing about The Last of Us to kind of sidebar. I think that's just such a cool thing. It's so realistic as a concept of what an infection could be from a fungus level. And we're so lucky that that doesn't exist in our world today. But anyway, my point I was going to make is The Last of Us does this really good in the TV show, in HBO's TV show, where they go back in time. My thought process was the reason why, and a lot of people, I've talked to people in my workplace, etc., about the God of War TV show, and a lot of the times it comes up like, well, why aren't they just remaking this from the beginning of the God of War story? Because the God of War story is in Greek mythology, not Norse. And they're going into Norse mythology right out of the gate. Yeah. So Kratos is from Greek mythology. So my thought process and what I've been kind of thinking, and I thought this was the case, but now I'm wondering if it's not true, is that they were going to go back into Greek mythology in flashbacks constantly and just kind of do that in a more substantial way. But I'm wondering now, because they're focusing so much on the very end of this story that I'm like, are they even going to do that? There's an element of like, are they going to go back or even acknowledge the Greek aspect? And if they don't, that's a huge mistake.
I agree.
If they don't acknowledge it at all, it's an error, I think. Yeah. You could just not do it. You could just say, we don't need this, So.
Yeah. I think they are. And I agree with you. That was my thought process. They're going to have these flashback scenes to develop Kratos' character a little bit more set in the Greek mythology. But it makes sense that they're making this show based on the God of War 2018 and Ragnarok story because, one, it's the most popular. I think people liked that the most. And myself included, I never really played the original series. When I have, the story's not particularly good, and Kratos isn't a particularly compelling character in that game. No disrespect to the creator of it, David Jaffe. I like his stuff, but I just don't. Yeah, I just don't think he's a compelling character in that one at all. He's just yelling. He's just yelling a lot, killing gods.
He's a very angry guy.
There's not much substance. Whereas they made him into like a nuanced, like 3-dimensional character in God of War 2018 and Ragnarok. So I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic about this show, considering who's attached to it, the casting thus far. I think this has like a potential to be something really great. I'm just curious how they're going to do the action scenes, and like, is it going to look wacky when they do these action scenes? Because there's some crazy shit that happens, man. Like I think about the opening of God of War 2018 and how wild it is and how they're blasting through stuff. I'm like, can you make this look really high budget and cool on a TV show budget? And I understand TV shows, their budgets have skyrocketed in recent years, but again, I'm are you going to be able to replicate it to that degree on the
Are they able to? The answer is yes. Will they? That's the question. Amazon is known for a few TV shows that are so expensive, and the first one being the Lord of the Rings series. So they've definitely thought about what they should do in terms of paying for things at a massive scale like that. So hopefully they are willing to do that. The thing that kind of I think I'm most worried about, and I don't think anyone's thinking about really, like on a large perspective, like the big God of War fans, because no one ever talks about this except for maybe you and I. I feel like we talk about this the most, is I love the fact that it's a oneer, and there's no way it's going to be a oneer, in my opinion.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why that fight scene in the very beginning of the game is so interesting, in my opinion, as well, is because it is a oneer, and it's very visceral. Like you feel like you're there because it's so crazy, and you're like, whoa, this is insane. The game, of course, is not in in first person. It's in third person. You're following essentially a movie. It feels like a movie. You're just playing
cinematic. It's like a very cool
it's in one
cinematic
shot.
Experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like, I wish they would do that. I just don't think they have the guts to or the budget to do that. Because if you're going to do a oneer and do the kind of CG that you're talking about here, the visual effects, I think you're gonna be spending a lot of money, and I don't think they're necessarily willing to do it. It's interesting because if you look at the fact that Sony decided to not make the Horizon series, Zero Dawn and Forbidden West, a TV series, it was supposed to be one on Netflix, and they then decided to make it a movie. I think that was a budgetary reason, honestly, as like a saving grace situation. I think that they were probably, although there was like a controversy with the creator of that, wasn't it the dude from like Umbrella
Academy, yeah.
Right, yeah. So like, I think that, yeah, I hope they can do it. I hope they can do like the amount of forced perspective needed. I hope they can make it really look real and cool. I agree with you. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm curious. I don't know. It could be bad. I mean, anything has the chance to be bad. I wish it was on HBO just because I feel like it's got the best chance always on HBO or Apple TV. If Apple TV took it, I'm like, I'm in. I was like, I don't think there's any risk. But even any other streaming service, I'm like, they could be good. It could be bad. It's completely unknown. We don't really know. I'm trying to think, is there any other streaming service that has the kind of quality metrics that Apple and HBO have had? It's cool.
I don't think
good for
so.
Apple that they can even be on that level, eh? Like, impressive.
Yeah. It is. You make a good point, though, because like when you think about it, I think Amazon has a lot of like relatively popular TV shows, but I don't.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to think. I mean, I guess Fleabag is like.
Oh, yeah. They have some big ones.
Amazing quality, but like I don't think they have that like cachet that again HBO and Apple TV have, where it's like, oh, an HBO show is coming out, it's probably going to be like hit a specific quality metric. I think Amazon's a little bit more spread out, just like Netflix, right? Like where they're a little bit more spread out in their quality.
Yeah, I think you just don't know what you're going to get, but they have like a lot of really good one. Like I think Fallout's really well produced, and that's a big budget too.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Fallout.
Different, like it's just different a little bit. I think they did but it's again, it's high quality, but it's like the Night Manager is them as well. I believe they've got a lot of really good ones, but it's like they also have ones like the Wheel of Time. People didn't love the Lord of the Rings series, but I think that budget and what that looks like and how it feels like Tolkien's works, in my opinion. I'm not an expert on Tolkien. I haven't read all the books. I've read The Hobbit.
But there's a black dwarf. That's all.
Right. I think they're freaked out maybe from a woke perspective, more so the actual, what the content is. I actually quite like it. I think they did a pretty good job of it, and it looks and feels really good. I thought that was really good. I'm quite excited for the third season. In fact, I kind of think of this not quite on the same level because the writing's not quite as strong, but in a level of like popcorn TV, like I just love watching it. It just looks so good. It's like a feast for the eyes. Like every time I go into it, I like, again, it's like a kind of a midnight snack type situation. I'll eat a croissant and just watching like, well, what's going to happen? Because you don't know exactly what's going to happen. This is prequel to the Lord of the Rings. So it's like, many years before. So it's kind of a cool, it's very fun to watch, and I don't really think that they're really making any missteps that are substantial, but people are very obsessed with race. So I guess that's important to people.
Well, it's like it's the Harry Potter TV show as well, right? It's like they
Oh my
casted
God.
Snape as a black dude, and everyone's like, "Oh my God! If you wanted to keep it traditional to the books, you wouldn't have casted a black man as Snape." I'm
gives a
excited about Snape being black just because of the flashbacks with Harry Potter's dad bullying the shit out of him.
Right.
The context.
That's the funny thing. That's why I found it weird that they did that, actually.
Yeah, I know, dude.
That was the only reason I thought that was strange. I'm like, are you sure? Well, I don't really care. 'Cause the thing we've said this before on this show on Split Focus, like the thing that matters in terms of casting, in terms of race, is it does the race somehow dictate the character in the previous works or the way that it's written? Like, does it matter? And if it doesn't matter, then it shouldn't matter to the audience.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that because James Bond was white before, he has to be white every time. If they had casted Idris Elba when they rumored it 10 years ago, I would be like, that's badass. I love Idris Elba. You know what I mean? As 007, like James Bond. But they just didn't do it. And so now it's too late because he's a little bit too old, I think, because they're going to probably cast a younger Bond. But it's like, that's not an issue because the color of his skin is irrelevant to the character. It just has no relevance. Like, why do they care? I don't know. It's so stupid. Like for Snape, it's like, who gives a shit? Like, why does this literally doesn't matter? I know it's not described on the page, but what does it have to do with who he is? It's not like there's black people in the UK. Like, it's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what's the issue here? I don't.
Well, it's also
understand.
like, I don't know. You think about the Harry Potter movies, like they recast what's that fucking guy? Ah, man, the one character in like the last movie, he's like one of Malfoy's like lackeys or whatever.
And
he
was
like a
Crab or Goyle.
Yeah, Crab. Yeah, Crab and Goyle, one of them. And they recast him. He was like a larger white dude, and then they recast him in the last movie or two as like just a black dude. And it was like, dude, what? Yeah, like I'm like, what the fuck?
So that's an example of where it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So don't do that.
Like,
that's stupid. You should pick somebody that's similar to that guy that you cast initially, so that there's a lack of confusion. You don't want to create confusion for the audience, especially because I don't feel like he wasn't really called out by name that often, and when he was, it's like, wait, what? For anyone paying attention to the rest of the series who had watched the other movies, but he could have been black from the beginning. Who gives a shit? That's the point. Is like, where would that have mattered? I'm still like blown away that John Lithgow was cast as like Dumbledore, because you just don't see American actors play British people often because they're just not good enough at the accent, I guess. I don't know what it is. Like, British people are always like, look at I mean, I'm blanking on everyone's name.
Dan Stevens.
Sure. Right, he's a British man. Yeah, he's from the UK, I should say. I'm not sure actually where he's from in the UK, but regardless, he's from the UK, and he's got an accent. He does a really good American accent. There's just so many British like UK actors that are able to do amazing American accents, but then on the flip side, it's just rare to see a John Lithgow. Whereas John Lithgow did a great job in The Crown, as an example, as Winston Churchill, and so I guess they're like, yeah, this guy can do it. I just love John Lithgow, so that casting to me was like, yeah. It's exciting. I'm very excited about the show, for the Harry Potter show. I know we mentioned this way earlier in this episode. You were thinking that a lot of people are down on it. Are you talking to a lot of people who are down on it? Like, did you know, or you're just seeing it online as like
you just occasionally see it online. Like I have a buddy that's like talking shit about the Harry Potter thing. Like, no, we already had the movies. It's already good. I don't know if he's kind of rage baiting, but I'm like, you're entitled to your opinion. I disagree. I'm always cool with something. Oh my God.
I'm good with it. It's been enough time. It was years ago at this point. I'm okay with it. As long as they do a good job and they really try to dive into the stories in a deeper level, because if you're not going to do that, then why are you even bothering making a TV show? The fact that it's a different medium, I think, is the most interesting thing. If they were making movies again, I'd be less interested. I think it's because it's a TV show that makes it way more interesting.
Yeah, you can expand on it like over the course of, like make a book into an 8-hour series or a 10-hour series, depending on how many episodes you do, as opposed to like a brisk, 2-hour movie where you're trying to put in a lot of content.
And we
So
talked about this before. This is also really refreshing, and I feel like I hope it moves the industry forward from the TV angle in that they are on a time crunch. These kids are going to grow old, and they need to have them act in these seasons before they're too old. And so that means that we're probably going to get these seasons of the Harry Potter show on a brisk pace, probably like Slow Horses pace. Which, by the way, Slow Horses only has 6 episodes per season, but at the very least, they release one season per year at the least, which is a much faster pace than most HBO shows are running right now. And so I'm very excited to see this actually come out in less than a year a time. You don't have to wait more than a year per season. If they don't do that, I'm like, you guys are out to lunch because you can't. These kids are gonna look like the Stranger Things kids at the end, like plump lips, I don't know. It's just a little bit distracting. Like, you didn't have to do that. I know there was a writer strike. It caused issues, but it's just, yeah.
Just
anyway, okay.
I mean,
I'm excited about the God of War series. That was what we were talking about. I'm excited.
I forgot that's what we were talking about. I agree. I try to be optimistic, man. I try to be cautiously optimistic,
Yeah, I'm excited, and I really hope they do the flashbacks, and I really hope they cast Jeremy Davies. That's my last word about it. But
cool.
Okay. Last thing to talk about in terms of the trilogy of news, Adrian. Longtime Star Wars producer Kathleen Kennedy has stepped down from, speaking of rage baiting, has stepped down from the helm as president of Lucasfilm, with Clone Wars creator Dave Filoni taking over as chief creative officer and Lin-Wen Brennan taking over on the business side. I don't care too much about the business side. Good luck to Lin-Wen Brennan. But
shout out to Lin-Wen Brennan taking over the business side. Shout out to Lin-Wen Brennan.
Great name. That's
a quality name, dude. That's a quality name of a man or a woman.
It's a woman. Anyway, but anyway, cool name. I'm not being facetious. I do think it's cool. But Kathleen Kennedy stepping down is a funny story about this actually. So I've worked in like field as like a brand rep for a while, and I was talking to some guy at a retail store, and he was very, 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 very negative about the current state of Star Wars. But the thing he fixated on specifically was Kathleen Kennedy. And I kid you not, it was 2 years ago, like today, and he said to me, Kathleen Kennedy, mark my words, Kathleen Kennedy will step down in 6 months. And I set a reminder on my phone for 6 months from the day in front of him. I'm like, I don't think that's true, buddy. But now she stepped down. So there is that. Yeah. I guess he was.
Didn't they announce this like months ago though as well? I feel like we talked about her stepping down.
She was planning on it. Yeah, she was just like, I think it was rumored that she was planning on doing it. And but I don't think she's doing it because of he was saying she's stepping down because of the controversy, because Lucasfilm was in bad shape or some shit. It's like, no, I don't know. They're very, very, very risk averse right now. So that's a negative of what they've been up to. But I don't know. I think Kathleen Kennedy.
But like, I feel like they are. But like, I mean, Andor was kind of a risky project. I mean, I was super negative on it prior to its release. Yeah. I don't give a shit about this fucking character that was in a prequel. Now we're doing a prequel to a prequel, and then it's like they have a big budget on it. Again, amazing creator, and they were willing to deal with topics that are incredibly mature for Star Wars and have created something remarkable. But yeah, I do agree with you from a high level view, apart from, I guess, Andor specifically, it is fairly risk averse.
It's interesting you mentioned Andor. That's such a great example. It's so funny because they're risk averse more so about movies, actually, but because they don't want to spend the money on the movies. But Andor was so expensive, as shown by, like, I can't remember how that reporting came out, but it was like so much money to make. And it was like more expensive than the average, like overall than the average movie, certainly. But they haven't been, since Solo failed, basically, and Rise of Skywalker didn't do maybe as hot as they wanted it to do. They've been scared. Well, oh no, Rise of Skywalker still did pretty well.
It still made $1 billion, didn't it?
It made a lot, actually. That's maybe not the best example. Solo was, I think, the example, because they stopped a Star Wars story type thing. Although, I guess Mandalorian and Grogu is a Star Wars story anyway. But
but it's also like a sequel to like a popular TV franchise, like a TV series.
So still very risk averse. So it's kind of interesting. They're scared a little bit of making a movie that isn't, especially in like the Skywalker saga, because their next planned situation is with Simon Kinberg, and they're going to do a Skywalker saga. So it's
I forgot
cool.
about that.
Very, very great. Everyone loves Simon Kinberg. He's got a cool name. His name is Simon. Other than that,
I hate that
I,
fucking name. I think it's a dumb
I,
name.
whoa. But yeah, I don't know, man. So yeah, but yeah, actually, what I was gonna say, I thought you were about to say, is that she hasn't done a bad job, in my opinion. I think that actually she largely did an okay job. I think there was problems with the marketing, and I think Solo is a great example. You mentioned this earlier. They put it
Yeah.
too close to The Last Jedi, and it caused an issue. You're completely correct. It was after The Last Jedi, not Rise of Skywalker. I don't know why I got that confused. But yeah, that was an issue that they made that mistake, and they didn't seem to take a lesson from that and learn how to kind of do this
Mm-hmm.
appropriately. Because now, I mean, they're coming back with the Levy, what's his name? Whatever,
Sean
Ryan
Levy.
Gosling project, Sean Levy, Ryan Gosling project, which is also kind of a Star Wars story that's not related to the Skywalker saga, I think.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm very excited about that. That I feel like the screen grab of that was really cool. The black and white one, I thought that looked really awesome. So I don't know. They're just kind of, it's been hit and miss, I feel like, under Kathleen Kennedy, but largely it was good. The worst thing that she did was the fact that her Skywalker saga, I feels like, to me, this is what I think. There's actually not enough studio meddling. I know that might seem strange, but it seems like she didn't have any kind of idea or plan to like make them rein in an overarching storyline. I think that was an issue, and that's
Yeah.
kind of what I got as a vibe. She kind of gave good creators that, creators who are potentially, except for Simon Kinberg, like she gave them the reins, and then she was like, run with it, do what you want. Like, she gave Ryan Johnson the reins. Pretty cool. He made Looper, and they're like, yeah, she's like, yeah, you can do this. Like, he made Looper. It was like the most substantial movie he
Yeah.
made. That's it. That's not that crazy. It's pretty cool. Bruce Willis was great in it, like, but it's not that. It's not a freaking, I don't know. It's not, well, I don't know what a good example is, because actually that's like what Marvel did back in
Yeah.
the day with even Jon Favreau. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know. It's interesting because she's like, she trusted her creators in a large way, but almost too much. Like, she didn't think that it was smart to create, again, the Charlie Day with the red string, just have somebody be the map maker who understood
Yeah.
where the franchise was going in a very cohesive way. And I think that's why they already promoted Filoni in a deeper role before this. He was
Yeah.
already kind of in the role that he's called now. He's like the chief creative officer. I think he was already kind of doing that, but now he's just got more responsibility and more pay, but a step up from where he was.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I don't know if you have any thoughts on this, but I'm kind of excited about this, but I'm not excited that she's stepping down. It's irrelevant to me. I think it's the same shit because Simon Kinberg's still hired. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of like whatever. I don't think a single person's to blame with how awry the franchise is, and I think it's kind of foolish to assume that it's like, one person.
Yeah.
I think, if someone's going to take the reins, I guess arguably Dave Filoni is a good choice because he is shepherded a lot of the. Yeah, like he loves Star Wars. He's essentially like George Lucas's like protege in a lot of ways. Like, knows the universe inside and out, and has a lot of respect for the original trilogy, but is also willing to, take it to the next level. And then with him and his relationship with Jon Favreau, that's how he got, some really good TV with like The Mandalorian. And then people swear about like the Clone Wars and everything like that too. And mind you, Kathleen Kennedy was all there during this entire process as well. It's, I don't know, again, like people like picking and choosing, and like, I'm going to blame Kathleen Kennedy for everything bad, but not give her any credit for the, good stuff that's also come out under her.
There's also an element of that she's a woman. I feel like I gotta say, I think it's something.
I'm sure it plays a factor.
Because Star Wars is very dudes being fans. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like there's a toxic fan base there, and I don't think it's the women as much.
Yeah,
coming to the table. I don't know. It's been hit and miss. I would say that. I'm hoping that they can kind of rein it in a little bit better and try to fix it. But she also she was ready to greenlit the Adam Driver, Steven Soderbergh thing, and she completely, that was studio meddling. It wasn't her meddling. She didn't meddle with it. They literally, like, Bob Iger nixed the project, the Steven Soderbergh sequel project with Ben Solo. I was like, okay, so she knew what was up, and they like her, because I think she's just that's not her role. She was never in it on that creative level. That was my argument to the guy who claimed in 6 months she's going to be gone. I'm like, I don't think she's involved as involved as you think. Like, that trilogy, like, I think honestly, the one who is the most to blame is literally J.J. Abrams. I really do think that, because he had the path, he started it on that path, and then they didn't have a steward for the actual creative process. She was just kind of producing from a business level, I feel like. But
Yeah.
anyway, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
We're not in the room. I just don't. I think it's bullshit to blame her.
I was in the room. I just wasn't paying
Except
attention.
for hiring Simon Kinberg, that I do blame her. That was the only recently, though, and I don't understand how anyone could do that. That guy's got something on someone, for sure. I don't know what's going on.
He knows who was on Epstein's island.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know what's. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, he hasn't got the worst track record. He's not everything he's made has been bad, but I mean, that's, yeah. Okay. Shall we move on to trailers, sir?
Yeah, I mean, to like kind of jump right into this, because we're already talking about Star Wars. They released like a new Star Wars animated series trailer for the Darth Maul show.
Yeah.
Something Darth Maul in the mall. Darth Maul in a mall.
Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord. I have it in my other notes, but not in the actual document. Again,
yeah, it's like a Dave Filoni project. It's interesting. I feel like Dave Filoni essentially took Darth Maul and made him into a far more impactful character over the course of many, many years, which is interesting. Yeah. And I mean, like, it's just interesting that they keep on going back to him. I guess there's a lot that you can kind of fill in.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not really interested in it. I've never been so into Star Wars that I was like watching the animated stuff really that much. Like I watched some of the Clone Wars and everything, but I didn't watch like the Bad Batch as an example, which was more recent, or the there's another one I thought
Rebels,
but maybe not Rebels, yeah, which I didn't watch. So I don't know. I'm curious. Will I watch it? Probably not. But hey, it's something.
Yeah, it's interesting. I like the animation quite a bit. Watching that trailer, I'm like, this appeals to me. There's something about the way it's animated. It's kind of unique. It's unique to Clone Wars too, and Rebels.
Yeah,
I feel like it's kind of I feel like an evolution of what those shows were. But it does look cool.
Yep.
I'm probably not going to watch it either. It's just too much content for me. It's just too much to absorb. I feel like that's the issue, and that's kind of why I'm probably not going to dabble in it. But yeah, for other things, other trailers that got released in the last 2 weeks, Lee Cronin's The Mummy, Fantastic Four, Black Panther, Doomsday trailer, which you sent me, Euphoria Season 3 trailer, and I'm like, do I want to watch this? And then Masters of the Universe, like the Masters of the Universe trailer, like the teaser trailer that just announced or released today. That Masters of the Universe trailer teaser, I recently saw something from, I think it was Gore Verbinski, the director of Pirates of the Caribbean, where he was talking about how one of the reasons why, this is a crazy thing, one of the reasons why CG looks worse now than before is because they're using Unreal Engine.
Oh.
That's his claim, that they're not using Maya anymore, which like for 3D modeling, they're using because it's a shortcut to use Unreal because of the way that it uses assets, and it's just a faster process. And because of like the uncanny valley aspect of it, as video games are what use Unreal Engine most often. It's an engine for video games. You don't have to worry about the the uncanny valley as much because we're, as gamers, we know it's CG right out of the way, right away. But in a movie, when it's live action actors, you have to believe that it's actually a real person. And so his claim is that because of all the Unreal Engine, it doesn't look good. The reason I'm bringing this up is the Masters of the Universe. The worst thing about that trailer is I think the CG isn't that good. It doesn't look that realistic. It looks like a video game more so than I think it should. And I'm like, I just thought about that because I just read the Gore Verbinski quote and I was like, oh, okay, well, here's an example. I don't get turned off too much by bad or worse CG, but people keep pointing it out over the last couple years that like Marvel CG has gotten worse, and like they keep looking at like examples of CG from 20 years ago or like 10 years ago where it's kind of almost better than today, but using miniatures like Star Wars did to make the ships fly in space, it's just, I feel like practical effects are always kind of better. But he was using Maya as an example, as a program that was more effective at creating realistic CG than that. Anyway, you have any thoughts on Masters of the Universe? I don't think you had any connection as a kid. You were too young. But
no, connection to this. I did watch this trailer though, and I was like sitting there. I'm like, is this gonna do well? Like, I don't see any appeal in this in this universe. Honestly, I was watching. I'm like, this kind of looks like Thor in a lot of ways. Right.
I
Like,
feel like the
you know,
guy's not big enough.
yeah, like it looks like it's Asgard. Yeah, I know the guy doesn't seem like super jacked or anything. Like, I don't know.
He's
I
jacked, but
my knowledge of like He-Man is the meme.
he's a
You
cloud.
know,
Oh, I
it's
see.
like
Yeah.
it's like the meme when he's like singing.
Yeah,
You know,
for non-blondes. That's
yeah,
exactly
for
right.
non
So it's like,
blonde.
is this going to be the connection that people make? I said it to my
Yeah.
brother though, because he had He-Man toys and he like played with them as a kid. So like that
Mhm.
was the thing. He liked Skeletor and all that. But like this, I don't know. It's funny. He-Man's a cloud. Like he's a freaking cloud. Like he's a very beefy boy. You know what I mean? And this guy is not that. He's
No.
like Captain America sized or something. It's like, I don't know if this is I don't think he's buff enough for this. He needs to be freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger level, like size, like at Arnold Schwarzenegger peak bodybuilder.
Yeah. And it is also like it's just like I don't know, this just seems like boring in a lot of ways. It's like another origin story. Like let's like see how He-Man was made. I'm like, brother, I don't give a fuck about how He-Man was made. And again, you have like all these people that again, probably an older crowd that likes He-Man. It's like they already know He-Man. Like why wouldn't you just have a pre-built universe and just kind of go with it? I don't know.
Nah, I don't know about that.
It just doesn't seem that fun
Maybe.
to me personally.
I don't
But
like origin stories when you keep doing them over and over again. So like I like that they did Spider-Man Homecoming and didn't do the origin story again.
yeah.
Like that's kind of a cool thing. But if you haven't done it for 30 years and never done it in live action at all, I'm like, I don't care. I'm not sure it would have mattered if you did if you did any kind of origin story. Plus, I don't think that's the origin story. He's not stuck in a different universe. It's like this is almost like the movie Barbie. I don't think that's the story of He-Man. Is it? Am I crazy?
I have no idea, dude. Again, my
feel like
knowledge of He-Man is the meme.
The place is Eternia, I think, but they're in Eternia right from the beginning of the show. I don't think they're in like the real world and they're like he pulled out like it's like
an
he left
isekai.
it. Is this like the story of Hook or something? Is that what they're doing? Like you ever watch
I have
Hook?
no idea.
I love that movie. You never seen Hook at all?
I must have on like Teletoon. I feel like it played on Teletoon when I was a kid, like on
Like Family
TV, but
Channel.
I never owned it.
I love it. But it's reviewed very badly, so I don't want to watch it again. I think it's awesome. I think Robin Williams was great in it. Dustin Hoffman's in it. This Hook is pretty cool. I liked it. But anyway, okay. Anything else here? Fantastic Four, Black Panther, Doomsday. Eventually, we're just gonna see the whole movie. That's what you sent me in an Instagram message. Like all these teasers. Like we're gonna see every meetup that was possible in this movie before we actually see the film in December. If they have to keep this pace up, it's like
I know
how long is this movie? Like,
yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. But my theory is correct about like this is built for the average person that maybe fell out of like the Marvel universe and stuff. Because talking to my buddies. A lot of them were like, "Man, I'm super excited about this. This looks great. I'm stoked about seeing these characters or whatever." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah." So it's not for like you and I that have stuck with the universe and like surprises,
right?
So
I guess,
yeah, I don't know.
But I mean, when they watch it and then there is no surprises, don't you think it's possible that they'll also just think it as negative at that point?
Probably.
That's the problem. So we'll see. Maybe they got more surprises up their sleeves, or maybe they're just going to reveal them in the months prior to the film because there's so many months. We talked about this last time, but like, how many teasers can you do for this? Like 12 months in advance. It's so many months away. Like you're crazy, guy. Like Spider-Man, still no trailer. No Spider-Man trailer for the July release of Spider-Man, whatever it's called. Home time. Home time is now. Or home way. There's no home in this one, is there? Brand new day.
Brand new home.
Brand new. Yeah, it should have been brand new home.
Friends.
That should have been brand new home. What were they think? No, the home trilogy, I think is what they called it. That's the John Watts home trilogy. Anyway, anything else? Anything else you want to talk about?
Euphoria season 3. I never watched season 2. I'll get around to it. I'll watch it.
Dude, I watched the Euphoria season 3 trailer and I was like, do I want to watch this show from season 3?
Did you watch season 2?
No, I didn't watch season 1. I'm turned off by the fact that there's like nudity and there's supposed to be high schoolers. It turns me off. I just don't like this idea. I think it's silly and it's a little bit creepy and I just don't want. That's why I kind of didn't watch it. I know it's awesome, but it's like people talk about it being so highly regarded.
I like the
it's
first
cool,
season.
but it's just there's an element of that that's kind of turns me off. But this is not in high school anymore. They're in college
now,
all. Yeah, they're like out in the world. So I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. And it's like a crime drama. It looks pretty cool. An HBO crime drama with like younger people. It's like that sounds cool to me. Like That this is the most appealing that Euphoria has ever been for me personally. But hey,
Fair enough. Yeah, I haven't watched the trailer. I'll get around to it. I got to finish season 2, and I'll go back to it. I liked the first season. I thought it was pretty great. It was very Skins oriented. It reminded me a lot of Skins. I watched Skins when I was a teen myself, so I don't know. It was like that perfect time. And again, there's nudity, but then again, it's like all the actors are in their 20s, so you're just kind of you just got to accept it. You just got to accept it.
Well, otherwise it wouldn't be allowed.
Yeah,
that would be not good.
That is true. Then it would be child pornography.
Be arrests made.
Yeah,
but
touche.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I watched the Lee Cronin's the Mummy trailer. This is interesting. So Lee Cronin, most recently, he did Evil Dead Rise, which fucking slapped. So I'm intrigued about this. This is also weird because this is like the Mummy, like Tom Cruise the Mummy, Brendan Fraser the Mummy, but it's a reboot in its own universe, the Mummy. Correct?
Right, and they're making a Brendan Fraser
the Mummy
soon. Sequel to the original Brendan Fraser
The
Mummies. That's what threw me off. And I was going to ask you about this from a perspective of you being more of a horror guru a little bit. But you don't seem to know because you look like you were looking at me and asking. Were you asking me or you were telling me?
Yeah, no, I was asking you. I was like, is this separate or is this the same?
I think it's not the same universe. Like, was the Tom Cruise movie in the same universe as the Brendan Fraser movies? Like Rachel Weisz?
I think it was supposed to start a new universe.
Reboot.
Like the
that's
dark
what this
universe.
is. I think they were like, we're going to make a horror version of this franchise. But is The Mummy based on something else, like a book?
I don't know. It's probably like an old tale.
Is The Mummy horror movie based on anything? We're going to find out. We're going to find out right now. Yes, the Mummy horror movie franchise is primarily based on a blend of real ancient Egyptian. Well, obviously, it's based on Egypt, you piece of shit. There's no, it doesn't look like. Wait, hold on. The Mummy, 1932, which established the archetype, was largely inspired by there's a movie from the 1932. Oh, there you go. I didn't know that.
From the 1932.
So, okay. So the Mummy in 1999 with Brendan Fraser is based upon the 1932 film. It's loosely a remake. Reimagined as a swashbuckling action adventure. Oh, cool. Oh, interesting. So they're kind of reimagining that again, maybe with Lee Cronin. Interesting.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
I'm into this though. It looks good. I'm not denying. It looks pretty darn good. I'm intrigued. And again, I like Evil Dead Rise. I thought that movie was awesome. So
yeah. Cool. All right. Okay, now on to a segment of our show, Adrian, that I like to call A Look to the Future portion of our podcast, where each of us present at least 3 of our picks for the TV series or movies that look most interesting to us that are releasing between the dates of January 27th and February 9th, 2026. All right, I'll let you go first. As is customary, what do you pick, sir?
Oh, Simon, what do I pick, my friend? So I got a couple things, but the first thing I'm going to pick is releasing on January 28th. It's the 3rd season of an Apple TV Plus show called Shrinking. I'm very excited about this. I've seen a lot of ads on this on Crave, funnily enough, watching The Pit because I got Crave Basic for free with my mobile subscription.
It's crazy, eh? Like you see ads for a different streaming service on a streaming service. Like it's funny that they allow that.
Yeah, it's a lot. You see a lot of Disney Plus ads as well, which is interesting on there. That makes a little bit more sense.
Crave and Disney, though.
Exactly. Exactly.
You were about to say that. Sorry.
Yeah. Which makes a little bit more sense. But yeah, I don't think there's an Apple TV Plus pairing deal or nothing. So I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah,
it's
interesting.
Fine. But very excited. I can't wait for this.
Yeah, it's so feel good. It's so wholesome. There's I went back and I watched a clip. I don't know where I got that clip from. Maybe it was like Apple TV, some social channel. But they put the clip of Harrison Ford at that party. I'm like, that's a banger clip.
Yeah,
he's like killing it.
That was the finale of season 2, wasn't it?
I think it was finale. Yeah, it's just amazing. And then there's been a lot of little clips between. Oh my god, I don't know anyone's name right now. Jason Segel's character and Goldstein.
Brett Goldstein. Yeah.
Brett. Yeah. How did I forget that? Jesus. My brain broke.
It's easy to forget.
But yeah, Brett Goldstein's so good. Dude.
Yeah.
He's very good. He's a very good character in this show. It's very interesting, a very interesting dynamic. It's awesome. I'm
I
so
love it.
curious to see where they go with this. And they didn't say it's only 3 seasons or only 4 seasons. Like Ted Lasso was ending after a 3rd season. Did they say anything on a concrete basis? I don't remember.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I hope it doesn't end soon because it's awesome. Okay.
I
My
agree.
first pick here is on January 29th, they go in chronological order, Adrian, is a Netflix series that's hitting season 4. Incredibly popular series made by Shonda Rhimes. Bridgerton season 4 airs on January 29th on Netflix.
Crazy.
I know you love Bridgerton so much.
Love it so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
They build so many amazing bridges on there.
I know.
That show.
Yeah, the architects, the
ton of
engineers,
bridges.
the architectural engineers, in fact, they're so good at it that they built a town out of it.
Yeah.
They built a town out of the bridges. It's Bridgertown.
Bridgertown.
Wow.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Good show.
Wait, I think we just found our title.
Bridgertown.
Wow, our titles are great. It's the greatest titles and the most clickbaity titles anyone has ever seen. All right, Adrian, it's your pick. What's up?
Let's keep it in chronological order. Coming out on January 30th is the new Sam Raimi movie.
We missed one already for January, so we're gonna have to go back in time. But yeah,
Sam Raimi movie. I don't want to. We're moving forward now. It's a new Sam Raimi movie with Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien called Send Help, which seems just like a fun time, dude. This seems like a good freaking movie. Like right up my alley. I'm in the mood for this.
Yeah.
It's Rachel McAdams. She's down on her luck. She's Dylan O'Brien's assistant. He's a young buck running a business, and he's her boss, and he's a meanie bo beanie. And then they crash land on an island. Yeah, and he's not her boss anymore.
No. He's a little weakling.
Yeah.
The laws of the jungle.
Oh, I got a broken leg from a plane crash.
Oh, I'm so poor. Oh. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's exciting. That's a good one. My next pick is almost the exact same plot, and it stars Charlie XCX, and it's called The Moment.
Yes.
It also comes out on January 30th, the same date. No, this is like a.
I think this was February 6th, isn't it?
Wait, what?
That's what I have.
I have it on January 30th. What the hell, man?
You might be right.
What the hell?
You might be right.
Am I wrong?
I don't know.
I could be wrong. Maybe it's the wide release.
According to Google, it's January 30th. I got it from the Cineplex app, and the Cineplex app said February 6th. So
anyway, this is kind of cool because it's like a mockumentary, I think. It's very like it's got actors in it like Rachel Sennett and Alexander Skarsgård, but they're playing characters. But Charlie XCX is playing herself, and it's about her being on tour, I believe. It's kind of a neat kind of meta type of situation. Kind of cool idea. Yeah, hopefully it's good. I guess I'm not gonna probably see it, but it's cool. It's interesting.
I might watch it.
Popular.
Okay. Yeah, I might watch it just because my wife she's a fan of Charlie.
Oh yeah, she is. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's cool.
I mean,
does she say
she has a couple bangers
or something.
Yeah.
Your wife?
Yeah, Brat Summer, dude. I was there. I was there for Brat Summer. Honestly, that album slapped. There's some bangers on there. I'm not even denying it.
Take your word for it.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Are you going to say your next pick?
Yeah. So the next pick I'm going to choose
is
you
don't know.
Coming out on February 6th as well, or
not
in the future, or not.
Yeah.
But it is coming out on February 6th. It's The Strangers Chapter 3, Simon, which is a sequel to Strangers Chapter 2, which was a sequel to Strangers Chapter 1. I didn't watch the second chapter. The first one was really bad. It was a bad movie. It was absurd. Yeah. But hey, I'm going to watch the second and third one. Why the fuck not?
They're pumping these out, eh?
They're pumping it out. Madeline Perch. Yeah. She's starring in them. She's starring in these movies.
Yeah.
Along with other
sure is
people.
Okay, I got two more. One is Pillion, which I felt like sorry.
That's after. That's the 14th or the 13th, I thought.
February 6th.
You got like earlier dates than I do.
Limited
I
release.
get it off Cineplex's website.
I don't use Cineplex. I just use something that's a secret, and I'm not going to tell you. But I think this is a limited release. Okay, okay, hold off on this. I won't say this one. Fine. Pillion's not coming out yet. It's weird. I thought Pillion came out. That's what I was going to say. But
Me
then you're
too.
Like, no, it hasn't come out at all.
Me too.
Like, okay.
Incredibly well rated, dude. It's because it was at like, I don't know, TIFF or some shit. It was at like one of those movie events. And yeah, it's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes with 69 reviews.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Yep. And I think it got nominated for like best romance movie or some shit. Didn't it?
Alexander, yeah, which is strange because again, such a delay of it actually releasing. I thought it would have come out limited, but now I've given you February 6th and you're saying it's some other time. So I feel like that is the limited release. Anyway, Alexander Skarsgård and Harry Melling star in this love story. But yeah, cool. All right. The other one, do you have another one? Actually, go back and forth for a sec.
Yeah, I got Jason Statham's Shelter movie, The Shelter Man, coming out on January 30th.
Yeah.
He runs a shelter. I don't think he does.
Right, it's called... it's not called Shelter Man, okay. But it is called shelter. Is he running a shelter then? So he does have a job again. He is employed somehow.
Yeah, he's always employed.
He's always employed, but he's not usually employed as like a assassin or like a bodyguard. He's always employed as some other job. Like the beekeeper or the transporter.
The worker. The construction man.
The Working Man. No, it's literally a movie called The Working Man, right?
Yeah, The Working Man.
It's not even a lie.
The newspaper delivery driver.
Yeah, basically. He's just like riding a bike and throwing news. That would be amazing. They should make it. They should make him do that.
The Milkman.
That would be great. Yeah, it's like in the 1930s. Yeah, that would be
Bridgertown awesome. Builder.
Yeah. He's the architect of the bridges in the Bridgertown. All right. Yeah. Cool. Great. We missed one. We're going to go back in time now to January 27th, Adrian. That was a back in time sound effect. It was amazing.
That's really good.
Thanks. Okay. Wonder Man. Speaking of men.
Oh.
Wonder Man
is also starring Jason Statham.
Yeah, that would be cool. Jason Statham should be in the MCU in like a weird minor role, like Ben Kingsley. But yeah, Yahya Mateen II, Disney Plus. He plays an actor who apparently has some kind of powers that are undisclosed in the trailer. It should be cool. I just really like that Ben Kingsley is in the MCU, and every time he shows up, he's kind of steals the spotlight. I feel like even in Shang-Chi, killed it. Really great. So I'm excited about this. I am curious to see if it does well. They held on to this for a long time. Apparently this was like done like 2 years ago or something. Like it was finished in the can, and they never released it. But I'm hoping that it's good. And I'm just about to kind of resubscribe to Disney Plus, so it might be just in time for this if it is good, but we'll see. I'm not a fan of week to week. I haven't watched Fallout specifically because of week to week. I would have already watched it because I am kind of hyped about it because I really like Justin Theroux, actually, and everything he's in, and I like the Fallout season 1. So it's cool. Justin Theroux, I think he's playing Andrew House, so it's cool. I'm excited to see how that show goes, but it's week to week and it's not finished. So I will eventually. Anything else you want to say before we move on? You've gotten up like 15 times for this podcast. I know,
my cat's being absurd. He's being a crazy cat. Okay?
Okay. All right.
He's being a crazy cat. There's probably going to be a bunch
You've taken like jangles. 3 phone calls. I got to edit here. You've gotten up in the last hour, I swear to God, 7 times. Actually, if I'm going to swear to God, I should be more accurate. It was 5.
It was a lot. 6? It was a lot. My cat's being absurd, man. I got my wife's not here, so she can't take care of our cat. He's high maintenance. Okay.
I see. Yeah. Well, this is it. We've done it. We're incredible. We've done episode 128. How do you feel? Dude, 128 episodes.
I feel incredible, dude.
That's nice.
I feel like I could build a town out of bridges, baby. I feel like I could do the whole thing.
That's a lot. I don't know. I'm not sure you can.
It would be a lot.
Manage that. But anyway, that's it pretty much. So I guess we should wrap this up. Anything you want to say before I close the show with the final statement, Adrian?
Nah.
Okay. Thank you for listening to episode 128 of Split Focus, a film and TV podcast. My name is Simon Eady, and it has been a pleasure to host you alongside my delightful businessman, Adrian Pinter. Please join us on February 10th for episode 129. Good evening to you. And good luck.
Well, thanks. See you later, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Wow.
goodbye.
Thanks so much for listening, actually, because you didn't watch shit. You can't say us. You can't even say us.
It's true. Goodbye.
Yeah, take care.